Spike.
Yep.
Mind Spike.
But Mind Spike is pretty great. It's like Dissonant Whispers, only instead of forcing the opponent to run away, you just know their location. Other ones that are of note and of interest are Catnap, which seems useful for support reasons, especially if time is of the essence. And
take 10 minutes to take a full rest.
Short rest, yeah.
Potentially quite good.
Potentially huge, depending on whether you need like one short rest before the next engagement and you can't spare the time. That's the spell.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those
Maddening Darkness just looks bonkers.
Very, very specific circumstance, I think, with the whole.
I'd agree that it's situational, but that's precisely the sort of thing that a wizard can have.
Yes. Yeah.
Maddening Darkness, though, I mean, yes, it's 8th level, hence why 8d8 psychic damage makes sense, but 8d8 fucking psychic damage.
Yeah, that's that.
In an area with half damage on a successful.
Ouch.
Hey, if you're looking at wizards, if you've got if you've got the if you're running a Bladesinger wizard in terms of Xanathar spells, look at Steel Wind Strike. That shit is awesome.
At the moment, what I've been eyeballing is precisely how much I can do with a cloud of daggers.
Right then, guys. I think it is time.
You mean we actually get to start talking about this game?
We actually, we literally. Oh yeah, Wiz, you can be quiet now. I mean, you can watch the stream.
Stream.
Oh no, it's Sir not appearing in this film.
Oh boy. Alright.
Just the other day I was thinking it would be really useful if we had like another party member, some sort of secondary class, something like that, like a druid would really tie this.
You guys
together.
do need an additional healer. I'm just gonna point that out. After what I saw the last time, you could do with one.
So what you're saying is
I just have to stop playing so suicidal is all.
Yeah, but you will never do that. Let's be realistic.
That's Adrik. Adrik is suicidal.
We have more.
Yeah, but that's why Adrik is now spending all his money on potions.
If you come back to Shadford, I've got a stockpile of them.
So what you're saying is that the rest of us should multi-class as some sort of healer class.
You should all multi-class as what you need to do is you
One
need to
level
all
of cleric.
swear, all level, and you've got to be Paylor, and it's got to be life domain. That's it, and you all basically become part of the church, and then you all decide that your characters don't want to adventure anymore. They want to prostrate themselves before Paylor for the rest of their lives, and go on a holy crusade.
And Adrik leaves you because you're all idiots.
And then, but he's like, he has to in the back of his mind grudgingly admit that it is his fucking fault. Because he
the problem is he's right. We will all be idiots because we'll all have to reduce our intelligence scores down to 8 when we take that level.
Yeah, to be Adrik. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anyway, guys, right, let's start the session. So, what we have is end of last session. You guys found the ruin. You'd already got there at the beginning of the session, and you then ventured into a tent, quite a luxurious tent. That obviously been there a little while, not months, but a decent amount of time. And you met a strange woman, probably kind of like quarter elven maybe, called Listeria, and she seemed rather unusual. And she
no quarter was elven.
Pardon?
I didn't know quarter was elven.
Yes, very funny.
It made me laugh.
Do you,
that's all it needed.
Do you mind?
Only distantly, as you call.
Yeah.
Continue.
But anyway, Wiz,
Just
yes.
you
are not here. So.
I'm not here?
Yeah, go on.
I beg to... Okay, I'm not here.
So, you spoke with her, and she was a peculiar sort. Seemed to have been drawn here against her will, in a way, by the spirits, and had been waiting. And she thought maybe waiting for you guys. Wasn't sure. She spoke about the spirits having been restless, and you guys found out that is exactly what they are, because they were bad and naughty and
Well, Adrik immediately charged them.
Yeah, pretty much. But they weren't particularly challenging for you guys. But nevertheless, you continued with your primary mission to deliver the supplies to Barrow Bridge, which you did so. And when you got to Barrow Bridge, you found the small settlement, and the guards were there. There was a few little barricades here and there, but for the most part, the civilians, were going about their business fairly ordinarily. You met up with Jaren, Lieutenant Jaren, who was in charge of the militia here, the guards, and they took charge of possession of the wagon, as they expected it to be. The acolytes the two acolytes from the Temple of Palor also started treating some of the people here and some of the guards that had been, wounded. And they began to unload the cart itself of the various supplies. At that moment, after you'd had a little conversation with Jaren while that was happening, you hadn't got far into the conversation before there was a shout, a yell, an alarm has been raised.
Oh no!
And Callie kind of went off roughly in the direction as to where things were potentially happening. And I think at that point Callie realised that, there are bad things here. Yeah. And look at this. We actually have a map.
Yes, and we've got the tree that has a trunk that's as wide as its canopy.
Yes, because it's a very fat tree. It's mostly because there's a lot of branches and things and bushes around the base of it that haven't been cut back. But hey, what I'll do, because it's you, and you'll only just keep whining about it. Since now people have pushed through that area, there you go, I'll get rid of the tree. Is everybody happy now? More specifically, is Daniel happy?
Well done, mate. You made the battlefield more.
I was about to start lopping off branches, but yeah, I'm fine.
Good. Good. I'm glad. Very glad. So, as I mentioned...
Adrik had already screamed he's coming, Callie.
No, I bet he wishes. So I'm going to ask you all to give me initiatives, because we literally just got to the point of there be fighting going on.
They fight.
Cool.
I think Daniel's a bit distracted by the suddenly vanishing branches.
Did I not click that properly?
You might not have clicked it properly. I mean, who can say? Who, honestly?
Remember to click your token first, and then...
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
It should actually come up with the error message. God damn it. People.
Oh, I didn't have my... Yeah, I had something blocking the chat window there, so...
I don't know.
I have too many things open right now.
No, you're too busy. Okay. I'm going to start blipping things myself. So,
blip.
yeah, it's all going to be the blips. I'm going to blip you. And I'm going to blip you. And I'm going to blip you. Ain't that absolutely fandabby-dozy?
Only 3 of them? I'm not needed, Callie, kill them.
What is he doing?
Why are you so, concerned that there's only 3 of them?
I'm not concerned. I'm saying there's only 3 of them. It's not bothered. Callie, kill them.
There's only 3 of them from that direction.
That's
we
true.
can see so far.
That is true. There could be hundreds.
Oh no, I didn't wind up. I switched that one out.
It's possible this could be a distraction.
That's a possibility, and if there's hundreds, this is going to be fun.
If it's a distraction, what are they here to distract us from?
A bigger attack elsewhere from a different angle?
Potentially. In which case, if we hold this side down, they'll be able to deal with the others, and then we'll shortly be able to reinforce them.
I mean, hey, stream, don't tell the players this, but I mean, you guys heard all the extra blipping as I clicked to GM only on the initiative of the army.
They actually didn't.
Did I not?
No, the stream didn't.
Yeah, they bloody would have.
Got sock puppet thighs infiltrated.
They won't have seen it, but they would have definitely heard it. So you've just got the fucking mute.
Should have unmuted my stream. Damn.
Yeah, no, you missed the army. I mean, I've been clicking fucking loads. Fucking just endless clicking. Why do you think I've not been doing anything? It's because I've been looking for the guards. Where's the fucking guard sheet?
Under guard, probably.
Yeah, it's not. I'm gonna have to...
Hounds guard?
Nah, I'm gonna have
Militia?
to... Nah,
Militia?
they are called guard, but I just... They don't... Oh, they're gonna be derpy. Hang on.
Barrow Bridge Guard.
Nope, they're definitely just called guard. But I think this is going to be annoying because they're just going to end up pissing me off. Right, I need to drag that there. I need to drag that there. Drag that there. Oh, it's going to do that again. Yay. You know how it just doesn't do it sometimes.
No idea what you tried to.
I know. 1 second.
Did it fail to correctly log the initiative that you'd set for like 5 guys?
No, I am just trying to get the guards up. There we go. Fucking hell. No, sometimes you end up dragging the guards in from the library and it's just like 0 across the board on their stats and they don't get their attacks or anything like that. And it's really fucking frustrating.
Bloody useless guards.
Right. Here we go. No, that's wrong.
Close, but not quite.
The guards have got 16 AC. Well.
Yeah, they got chain shirts and shields, spears, admittedly, so they're not particularly well armed. But that's kind of the whole point of you guys being here. Oh my god, this initiative order. And then Jaren, because he's a thing as well. And then I should actually be done, guys. It's almost as if I need to be more
Jaren
organized.
doesn't just waltz into the battlefield with a battle axe in one arm and like a bastard sword in the other. I will be disappointed.
Yeah?
Dual wielding with 200 weapons.
Oh yeah.
I've got monkey grip. I can do this.
Monkey grip.
I shit you not. That's a feat in 3.5.
Wow.
It is.
Literally
It's a
just
great.
means
It's a great
you can-
3.5 feet.
You
That-
can dual wield.
It means you
heavy
can wield
weapons.
a frost giant's longsword as a
No.
one-handed weapon.
No.
No. When it's larger creature sizes,
then
you
it's
still
just-
have to use 2 hands, but it just
Yep.
means you can. But regular human size, heavy weapons you can wield in 1 hand.
I don't even understand.
No, that's a separate one. I
Is
mean,
that a
bastard
separate
swords
one?
you could generally just do that with, but there's an improved 2-weapon fighting was the feat for that.
Oh, was it? But yeah, no, monkey grip was just so funny.
Monkey grip is hilarious.
How have you got a scythe the size of a giant? I don't know. 12d6 damage.
Better ask the
Level
giant
1.
death cleric that I killed.
Okay. Well, you guys were all slow as fuck. In fairness.
Excuse me.
Rejected.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. Callie was fairly nippy, but to be fair, I mean, So,
Giant gets
Oh no,
Advantage?
how very
you didn't.
dare we not get into the 20s. Oh yes, the nerve of us adventurers not rolling high on a randomized tally for who goes first.
I'm glad you actually are on my side with this quarter, because, you know, normally you fall into your sarcastic thing, but I'm glad this time you're actually on board and agree with me this time with your frank and earnest...
It's my pleasure.
So, okay, Jaren barks an order to the peasants to get inside the inn. He also barks the guards to you know, regroup on him and make sure that everybody gets barred into their homes. And he basically shouts various reasonably sensible orders. He's also going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to stand just behind Callie and look over her because, you know, he can.
You don't really need to look over me. You just look.
Yeah, exactly. But it is still, by definition, over you, without any effort. He doesn't reach or anything. And yeah, he happily pulls out his longsword, gets his shield ready, and he's
At
prepping.
this point,
He's going to move to there. And he's gonna ready in action, I think. Okay, guys. What about you, Callie? What do you want to do?
Right. See that one at the bottom?
I do see the one at the bottom.
He's friendly.
He might be a friendly one. I mean, okay. He's not feeling quite as friendly now. He's not getting the warm welcome he was expecting.
No. Well, perhaps this will be warmer. Incidentally, Constitution will be the disadvantaged save.
Okay, okay. Okay, you unleash. The first Eldritch Blast, unfortunately, manages to duck out the way. The second one obviously hits. And yeah, you rip into that a lot. Oh, wow, you get,
I'm
like...
assuming I do get the double hex for that, right?
Well, only one of them hits, so...
Well, yeah, I'm saying for the crit, I would get a double hex.
Yes, because you're rolling the damage as part of the attack, so yes, you would.
Exactly.
No, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. So that's 24. 24 damage to this this poor attacking creature. That really hurt it. It's still alive, but yeah,
it's still standing.
It didn't like that.
See, if you had hit it with the other one, it'd probably be dead.
Oh, you feel that that's probably true. Yeah. Okay, are you done?
That's all right. I've got a plan for advantage, but yes, I am done. I will also quickly step 5 feet just behind Jaren.
Okay, I think that's probably reasonable. Nobody's going to berate you for that. Okay, now we're going to move on to this particular guard. So he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he's going to hold an action as well. He's got his spear, he's got his shield, he's bracing, he's standing next to Jaren. Obviously, you know, he knows his training, and he's holding the line just there. Okay. I'm going to move to the first of the gnolls. The one that you just almost vaporized, but didn't quite.
Oh, good.
And it looks to me like this thing is just going to move. It's not going to like this. It's going to move to about there. I'm going to say Jaren's going to end up getting his attack off first. So his held action is going to be slice. Oh my god. Come on, Jaren. Get your shit together, man. The guard's action occurs as well. That's better.
Is it still alive?
No.
Okay, good.
And it dies a death.
I'm assuming that was a melee spear attack, and you just not bothered to.
Correct. They're basically the same. The damage is the same. The attack value is the same. You might as well just make the ranged one and be to hell with it, and just leave it at that. Effectively, it's the same. Okay, so Orkon, you are up next.
Alrighty. So I think I am going to pull out my rapier. And start moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna try to round this building down here.
Okay.
5, 10, 15-ish.
Okay, that takes double movement because it's difficult terrain. Those two squares,
Yeah.
all the planks. Yeah.
So I'm guessing I'm probably stuck here then.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. I'll be here then.
Is that all you're doing? You're just gonna perch on the barricade?
Yes.
Okie dokie. We have the next guard who's basically behind that barricade. He's gonna follow his orders and he's gonna go to this door. He is gonna shout into the door for them to stay in their homes and barricade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's gonna do the same to there. He's going to bang on the door, tell them to barricade the door, don't let anything in, etc., etc. He's going to dash. Yeah, he's going to dash to about here, and he's going to sort of back you up and just stay there for a bit. Okay. I think that's probably him. Out of the undergrowth and just from where all the tree line is, another gnoll emerges.
Well, there's 4 now.
Indeed. Indeed there is. It is
You're going to have no luck in this attack.
Oh, fuck. It's going to get to about here. Then it's going to turn around and go, ooh, hello. And then it's going to...
Did you not hide?
Nope. Because they could see me anyway, right there. So.
Yeah, you can only really... Well, you can hide from individuals that can't see you. It just means that those that can see you automatically see that you're there.
You hide it.
Yeah, so they know you're there, but the ones that you can't see wouldn't know you were there.
Well, I didn't think of it at the time, so we'll go with this.
No, that's fair enough. He's gonna come down there. He's approaching you. He's not rushing, charging at you, because that'll be a dash and he won't be able to attack you. But he's there. He's got his armor. He's got his short sword, and he's taking it easy. He's definitely coming for you. We end up with this one here, which is another one that's there. It's gonna come into here. Nothing goes off because there aren't any anymore. Okay.
Who he hitting? The guard?
Oh, he's going straight for the guard. Whoever's in front of him, basically. So,
all right.
One. That hits. That hits. Ouch.
How's that guard looking? He just
not
got stabbed
good.
pretty hard.
Not good. And then his second attack with the short sword. Oh my god. Okay. Guard down.
Oh man. They weren't joking about needing that armor.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a shame
Not that would protect against rolls like that. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
that was
It'd keep the bites off, but those short swords, these guys know how to use them.
Oh, they're just frenzied, flailing around. They look like okay. These things don't look, now that they're a bit closer. They're definitely in sort of like frenzy mode, as it were. They're really going for it. But you notice that although the injuries are pretty old, a lot of them look like they're recovering from previous injuries of various kinds. They're not injured, but they're bruised and there's scars and there's burn
Yeah,
marks.
it looks like they've been leading a rough life.
Yeah, they
I
look like...
have a question, Mel.
Mhm.
Is the guard dead?
You don't know. He's fallen over from lots of wounds and he's not moving, but you don't really know whether he's dead. He is kind of a bit of a red shirt, to be fair. You don't know his name, and I haven't got a name on the icon from my end either.
Sack a Revivify for him. Do it.
I don't have a Revivify for any of us.
Yeah,
so...
but if it's still breathing, you can spare the dying.
Yeah. You don't know, but these guys are not tough. They're not like Jaren, who's, so you don't know. Certainly not looking good.
NPC. He knows.
Quick, guys, we must name all these guards.
Hey, it's whether I name...
That's Ricky.
It's not. You can't name NPCs in the middle of combat. New rule.
Right over there. It's okay.
It's got a name badge though. It says Ricky on it.
He is gonna he's gonna like be a little bit shocked, to say the least, but he is gonna charge forward
Ricky,
into
don't!
his fallen.
It's gonna end well.
He's gonna stab at the
Don't die,
knoll.
Ricky! Don't die on us, Ricky!
Yeah, he stabs at the knoll, and the knoll has less armor than he does. So yeah, he manages to stab the knoll and give it a bit of a.
If that guard survives, we want you to call him Ricky, right?
If he survives, I'll consider calling him Ricky.
This one's Jerry Tent Warden.
No. Fuck's sake. Okay.
Arnold Cart Scourge is down south.
You make a note of these, and you know what? I'll consider it after the battle.
Okay, good.
Okay, so this
Meantime,
guy...
Rick's about to
The
get
one next
more
to me is
hits.
called Garmachi the Putrid.
Gamatri the Putrid.
Garmachi the Putrid. Yeah, he doesn't lead it. He's the less popular guard.
Uh-huh. Fuck's sake, people. Okay, so he's going to attack. He's going to attack Jaren with a bite. Yeah, that hits. A short sword attack misses. Misses. So yeah, he manages to bite. But apart from that, Jaren seems to have taken it. I mean, he's definitely wounded. He's just been bitten by a fucking crazy hyena person. So yeah, he's not looking too healthy, but on the whole, he's still all right. He knows how to take a hit. Okay, from the vegetation below, another creature emerges. Something that is somewhat similar to what you've seen before.
Oh, god damn it, it's another one of these freaks.
Yep, they are the weird sort of scaly-skinned, purple, fucking tentacle
bearded
freaks. Yeah, they are pretty freaky and beardy. But you'll be happy to know that, you know, he's not quite got the movement to get to you guys.
Is he gonna gaze hungrily at Orkon?
No. No, he's not.
Can go sneaky, isn't he?
Oh no, he's gonna go
he's
kill
not
a bunch
sneaking.
of civilians.
He's not sneaky. He's blatantly just running down the other side of that building. So yeah,
Oh shit.
he basically ran, as you saw, that way.
Yep. I'm gonna... If I have the time, I will bring this to other notable individuals who didn't see it.
Okay, the next gnoll also emerges from the bushes. I told you I was rolling other initiatives, but I don't know, people doubt me. Though, to be fair, I don't think a lot of these are actually going to get anything done, in fairness.
Are you insinuating that the gnolls are in fact a distraction?
No, I'm saying is there's an awful lot more gnolls in the bottom right of the map than you could originally see, and that's why I was rolling all the initiatives.
Well, yes, but you're implying that they won't necessarily get much done. There can only be so many reasons for that.
Yeah, because they were kind of being blocked by their things and they're out of normal movement. So it's like this
Possibly
turn...
they didn't expect us to be here.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, they didn't expect you guys to be here. Okay, that particular guard that you can't see, you hear shouting from in this place. You know this one's the kind of makeshift tavern. It's basically a guy has a home that's a bit bigger than everybody else's, and he brews ale, and they go around, give him some money, and drink it. It's like a one room. It's got his bed in there. He takes the covering off, kind of thing. It's a pretty crude kind of situation. But you hear a guard in there, from what you assume is a guard, shouting orders for people to bar the door when he leaves, and not let anybody in. Blah 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 blah.
You got it, Schlubbo No Name Zaki. You can do it.
What I'm going to do as well, very briefly, just so that you can actually see what's inside, I'm going to reveal the contents because you actually can see. So you see a few people in there looking a bit concerned. Someone's still serving, less concerned, obviously. He comes in there. He gets to these two people and effectively just tells them to get fucking moving. And they then, as their reaction, just dive through into that door and they bar it behind them. He then moves up to back up his friends. Daniel.
Okay. Has Callie told us that there's something coming around the other side?
You could
Well,
have
we
the
can see a
opportunity
gnoll
to.
over there.
Oh, I can see it. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, Adrik, can you deal with that one? I'm gonna try and help in this narrow bit.
I'm gonna say, do you not want me to look after the guard?
Not sure we can do that much for him right now. I know, we'll see. I'm gonna see if I can't get these gnolls back a bit.
Okay.
That's gonna be the tree trunk.
You won't be able to hit that gnoll with a 10-foot reach from next to the corner of the building.
No, I know.
I thought I'd just make sure you knew.
You'd always
Will it
move
take me an
into my
action to just
square and
push
then
one of
move out
these
again.
guards aside?
Yeah, because they're bracing, ready for fighting. They're not. Yeah, if you want to move them, it would be the equivalent of sort of a grapple-y kind of thing.
Yeah. I'll just count my movement. Ooh, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the edge of your 30 movement. Thanks, Foxxy. You're a peach.
You're
I'm just
welcome.
gonna decide what to do. Yeah, I'm gonna go over to here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hit the one to the left.
Okay, the one in front of the guard, regular guard. Yeah.
He killed a guard. You got an eye for an eye. take his entire skull.
I mean, that seems a bit.
I'm more thinking that Jaren looks a little bit more capable of taking.
He is definitely more.
He is
capable.
definitely.
He's
So yeah,
he's, tougher, older, more experienced, got better equipment. He's got a breastplate and stuff. So it's like, yeah, he's got some better stuff. You're not gonna hit shit.
He left
for
his
that.
bastard sword in the camp, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, you managed to.
That's more like it.
Yeah. Yeah, the second attack definitely.
And I'm gonna go for a trip.
Okay. Strength, you say?
Do.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to take a lot of damage. Not a ridiculous amount of damage, but still quite a lot. In fact, actually, that is a hell of a lot.
16, 21.
You've tripped over a corpse.
Fantastic. I don't think it would have been a corpse if I hadn't tripped it, though.
Correct.
I think possibly its head landed on the spear of the guard that it killed.
I mean, yes, you know what? Let's say that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Oh, okay. So nice having the extra attack.
Oh, I bet. I'd forgotten that, of course, you guys are at that level where a number
This is my first fight where I've got my extra attack.
Yep. Sexy level 5, huh?
It's
a level 5 fighter, yes.
Yeah. Well, some get level 5. I think Warlocks, if you go Thirsting Blade, get it at 5. I think Rangers do.
Well, I mean, granted, Eldritch Blast kind of progresses that way anyway.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, that's me done.
Okie dokie. Adrik!
Superb. Is the guard dead?
Okay. You can take a glance at him. You think that, based on the way one of his wounds is bleeding in an inconsistent speed, you think he is alive, because there's definitely a heartbeat. He won't be alive for much longer.
He will stay alive.
Okay, I'm just going to move that guard out the way temporarily while I grab this guard. I'm going to move him out the way into the house. I know that's a bit strange, but just so that I can then, maintain the fact that there is a guard.
It's okay. He'll respawn in 30 minutes when the next matchmaking starts.
This is just your way of bookkeeping that he's unconscious, not dead.
Absolutely.
Cool. So he's been spared.
So he'll move back there if anyone chooses to coup de grace him, right?
Yes.
And I will move the rest of my movement up to here. And I will just prep. Can I just hold my ground?
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
No, that's fair enough.
Could bonus action spell, but we'll see what happens first.
Okie dokie.
He got a 3?
Yeah, he was shit.
Oh my god! Is that as low as he can get?
I think it might well be. I think that was my critical fail on the initiatives that I was doing.
I was gonna say, because I can't see these things having lower than a +2.
No, I think they do have a +2. I think that was the bottom roll. At least these guys anyway. The guards can get lower because one did.
Well, yeah, but they're not actually devils.
Yeah, they're not literally fiends from another fucking plane of existence. Yeah, exactly. You are right in that regards. Okay.
Is he gonna do a slank up?
He's gonna move up behind that knoll.
Hello.
He kind of slaps as a casual part of his movement the back of the knoll's head with his beard, as a kind of how you'd slap an unruly child to make sure that they actually do tidy their room, kind of a thing.
It's reminding the knoll that it's there, basically.
Reminding it to fucking.
Die for my fleeting tactical advantage, peon.
Yes, that. And it's basically going to jab at Jaren.
God.
With his 10-foot reach glaive. Yeah, polearms.
Got a polearm off.
A pure polearm off? I think that Daniel is better at polearms, but his polearm isn't as good, if you know what I mean. Okay.
Well, that's good, just because, once again, he isn't a fiend from another dimension of reality.
Yeah, exactly. With the weird. So con save for Jaren.
Oh, can we see it?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, get in.
Yep. He
I mean, I'm
takes-
assuming that Jaren, if he has class levels as a fighter,
Yeah, you would. That would be a sensible decision. But
in
then
which
again,
case he'll be all right at con.
yeah. Bear in mind, I'll tell you, he's not actually got class levels, but yeah, he's not. He's got some things that he's better at than others, but either way, but not con is not one of them. So yeah, I think the creature's going to stay there. We have another guard who is going to do his thing.
Arnold Cartminder, mind the cart.
Did I actually forget to blip one of the guards? I
Yeah.
did.
Got this one.
Well,
Jerry Tent Warden is just content where he
Maybe
is.
the other one got two as well, and he's just acting with
I
his buddy.
am exactly doing that so that he doesn't lose out a turn. Yeah. They don't want to be apart because they're lovers. So
God, is that what
Wow,
they're doing in
people
that
are
car?
judgmental.
yeah, don't be so judgmental. So they're basically gonna do as they're told and regroup. Well, one of them's gonna bang on the door, this nearby door. Same message as per usual, bar the door, blah blah blah. He's then gonna move to there. Same message, bar the door, blah blah blah. He's then gonna dash. He's not stupid. He's not a stupid person. He has.
Yeah, I was about to say, he should probably hold the line with Adrik.
Yeah, he's not a stupid person. He can see Adrik's a warrior, probably more skilled than he is. And he's going to do that. His buddy can see that he's obviously done all of those things already, so... Oh, my boy. He's probably going to get...
Reinforce the side.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily know that anything is going down on the side, except when he does that, sees his friend there, but he's seeing all the melee there, he's seeing a lot of it. Ooh, okay, then. Let's do this. One, he goes down. Two, he goes across. Okay, he goes across to the middle.
Yes! Remember that Tent Warden needs your friend.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
Oh, I thought that meant that he was going to... Oh, that's the opposite of what I thought he was going to do.
Okay, background to turn order. Jaren, he's gonna slice at the existing thing. Would he circle around like that? He's not feeling particularly wanting to... Yeah, he doesn't feel like he wants to stab the devil, but he also realizes the devil's going to keep stabbing him. He does know he's going to get backed up.
He does know that Daniel's behind him, because he must have seen the halberd flailing over his
Absolutely, but he knows you can't reach the devil. So
Not
he's...
yet.
Yeah, not yet. Well, I mean, I'm gonna roll a dice again. One, he stays put, relying on someone else. No, he's gonna advance himself.
Yeah. Jaren knows what's what. He knows how to give people tactical powers.
Yeah, he's gonna maneuver himself there. If he does any more than that, he's gonna get an opportunity attack. But he wants to take out this devil, and obviously, you know, the Null can get flanked later on. So Jaren's gonna go for this devil. Okay. And these two appear here. And the first one... Yeah, he's going to get partway across, realizes somebody's there. This one is going to decide he needs to back up his buddy up here, so he's going to stand about there and flank Jaren. This might end badly. Okay, damage could have been worse, guys. That's not terrible damage, you know, from Jaren's perspective. Jaren's still up. He's looking a bit rough, but he is still up. Okay. Can nobody hear me again? What? Seriously? Oh, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? Okay, I'll...
Yeah. I had a feeling that's what happened.
So basically, it doesn't matter whether I use... What? No. Okay, that was weird. It happened again immediately.
Yes, you went robot-y, and then poof.
It's like OBS has just gone utterly shit. And it's just fucking up all VoIP.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, Jaren is still alive. He's not looking happy, though. He's definitely well...
Can you move the null counter behind? Because I can't see his health bar.
Oh yeah, the deed one.
Yeah.
Like that, you mean?
Thank you.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Whoa!
The healer may have to come over. Whoops.
I tell you what, I'd be happy to trade places with you if you guys think that you can focus down this devil, because I might be able to focus down the other one if I've got some guards drawing fire.
We'll see what these two do. If they come up and face me in combat, I've got an idea. And I should be able to heal Jaren as well.
Well, this determines whether I hex now or hex later. Any turn I don't spend hexing is damage
Focus the
wasted.
devil.
Focus the devil. Yeah,
Focus
just
the devil.
DPS on the devil.
Okay, so you're hexing the devil, is this?
Ah, man. These rolls.
So you're hexing the devil. Is this what you're doing?
That I am. I am hexing the devil. Strength is the save that he gets disadvantage on.
Strength. Oh, I wonder why that is, Daniel. It's like...
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
Then I only get one hex, and oh my god, only 12 damage. Ugh.
That's pretty... Yeah.
Mediocre and lackluster for me.
Yeah.
The dice can't always be with me.
No, this is true. I would say the dice were probably with Jaren. Apart from being hit each time, I think the damage dice were definitely wanting to preserve Jaren at that point, because he could have gone down at that point. Are you finished, Callie?
Yep, that's my bonus action in action. There's no sign that I need to move yet.
Okay.
Sharon might go down and I might not have much to be able to assist with that.
Orkon.
It's my turn. So I guess I got a tactical question. In my current position on this barricade, is this giving me an advantage or a disadvantage or anything like that?
Nothing. It's giving you nothing at all. It's a fairly stable barricade. And you're pretty light on your feet for being a girl.
I know, right? Just want to make sure. So, if I were to say move to the side and let the guard stand on the barricade,
he is on the barricade as well.
Yeah, he might be able to sort of provide a distraction to a degree.
Okay.
Then,
what's your plan?
But the one plan is to step aside, try to hide, and then sneak attack when the gnolls come up to gank the dude. The alternative is I just charge on forward and keep them bottled up.
I think the hide and gank is probably a better idea.
Yeah. So I think I shall step to the side and attempt to hide.
Okay, yeah, you can easily. You broke line of sight, so you're hiding. Give us a stealthy roll. Oh, that's not a bad roll. That's not a bad roll. You'd hide from Adrik if he wasn't looking for you.
Only just.
Yeah, just by one. But yeah. Actually, technically, no, because it's not a contest. Yes. Yeah, he would only just not spot you. Okay, 18. That's not too bad. If that is you done, I'm going to move on to the guard that's behind you.
Yep. Yeah. I guess that takes my action. So.
Oh no, not Schlubbo no name Zaki. Don't die.
Well, it doesn't take your action. It could take your bonus action being a rogue.
Oh, I was assuming that you were doing that as your bonus action. You're going to hold your action to gank.
Yes. So I'll hold my action to gank the gnoll when it comes in. And I forgot, cunning action included hide. So.
Yeah. The guard's gonna ready his action.
Oh fuck! That thing's gonna get ganked.
The guard is not completely stupid. The guard actually puts on. He doesn't look your way, Orkon. Really, he just puts on a bit of a kind of like he's bracing with his shield and his spear kind of a thing, propping it ready to receive a charge. Okay. The Gnoll gets to about here. What's your Orkon? Your dex is higher. I think your readied action's going to go off first. I don't think it necessarily works that way in the book, but you've got to make a decision somehow.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
he does not spot you there. He thinks you've ran off, so you definitely get advantage for this attack.
So I'm going to use this with my little insult, even though it's not going to work very much. So I'll use my crappiest one.
You get advantage, Orkon.
Oh, advantage.
Yeah.
All right, so
It's an unseen attacker. You're an unseen attacker, basically.
So
okay, so it doesn't matter. You still do 10 and 1, but it's fine.
yes. So my insult of choice is, "You mama so ugly. The Dark Lord of Jom put her on his coat of arms to scare everyone."
Wow, that is a bit of a sick burn. Yeah. You definitely get that damage.
Sneak attack damage.
But you'll get a sneak as well, a sneak attack as well.
Oh yeah, definitely get your sneaky damage in there.
There it is. I always forget where it's at.
21 damage.
That's very respectable damage.
I mean, 10's very average for a 3d6, but it's overall.
Yeah, overall
21.
1 damage is
Okay,
decent.
you think that unfortunately the guard doesn't get advantage, but his readied action goes off now, and he thrusts it forward and misses feebly.
He was too distracted by my insult.
He was shocked. He was shocked that such foul language could be uttered by a lady. So yeah, the Gnoll barely survives the assault. He's already committed to attacking the guard. So yeah, he's gonna go for the bite and the sword and the sword. He doesn't know you're there. He's committed to the attack. Wow, some of these I'm getting some seriously good fucking attack rolls here, guys. Yes. I do apologize ahead of time.
Gnolls, since when did you pick up Foxxy's RNG? This is the same RNG you had fucking goblin fights.
It's fine. Look, it seems the biggest stake in this fight is how many guards we can save.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that guard collapses down, flops, falls off the barricade, and he sort of falls behind it from your perspective, Orkon. So you can see his arm and part of his spear from behind it, if you know what I mean. So as you're looking from there, it's kind of like you can sort of see here he's fallen over there. He's bleeding. Yeah. He's not moving or making a sound. So yeah, he's not happy chappy. Okay, next guard. He's going to well, he's either going to get advantage there or back up his friend. He's not that brave. He likes Jaren, but he's not quite ready to just surround himself and get into combat with the demon. So he's going to sidestep there and get advantage on the Gnoll that's in front of him. And he's going to thrust it.
Clean it.
Yeah, he gets a good solid stabbing. Yeah, Gnoll doesn't like that. They don't like it up them. The Gnoll doesn't like this. He takes exception to this. He was going to probably attack Jaren at this point, but he doesn't like being stabbed in the side. So he turns around on the guard. Ooh. Oh! Misses.
That guard.
That guard. He's looking a bit fucking petrified at this point. So he stabs, gets the Gnoll. The Gnoll roars, and the guard's like, oh! And then he kind of flails around a bit like the Cavalier. Yeah, like the Cavalier in Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. He just hides behind the shield. Just hides behind it, whimpering. But it works. It fucking works. He actually survived.
No, couldn't get around the fucking shield. It's like,
oh, the shaking. The guard's arm shaking. Kept moving the shield to parry each blow by fluke.
Totally on purpose. All skill, no luck.
Yeah, sure. We'll say that, shall we?
This guard isn't a drunken master monk. He's a coward monk.
Okay, he charges straight in there and goes for you, Adrik. He spots the...
I'll bring it.
Yeah, he spots the bigger threat at this point. First, his beard just flails at you, feebly. And then he tries to stab you with the glaive, feebly. Notice I'm getting all the really good rolls against the NPCs, but against the players, they're pretty sucky, to be honest.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The other guy, he's gonna take 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's definitely.
Adrik's gonna turn around. Bring it. Bring it.
He's gonna bite you, and he's gonna slice at you twice. See, told you guys. Told you. It's like
Ting,
against
ting,
the
ting,
soldiers.
ting, ting, ting.
I without advantage, I was getting 20s regularly. With advantage, it's yeah, you know. Okay, this guard, he's gonna decide. Yeah, I'm gonna move over here, and I'm gonna back up my pal. Well, I mean, not that much of a pal. I mean, they drink sometimes, but yeah, it's not that good. And he's gonna try and stab the devil. He's gonna actually be brave and try and stab the devil.
Oh no! Don't throw your life away, man.
No, he's doing it. He failed. Daniel.
Right. I'm going to break up my attack a little bit just to see how things go. So, first off, I'm going to halberd this gnoll.
Okay.
That's within reach. I should have advantage on that. I think that's what I got.
You should have advantage.
What's his say?
Because it's melee.
Yes.
Yeah, Jaren's still...
Well, roll advantage to... I was about to say, roll to see if you get a crit is all I was asking you to roll for.
Well, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to do... And
that he did not like that.
So I'm going to push.
Okay,
because I want to knock him back somewhat.
His corpse gets flung backwards into the bearded devil, who ducks out the way a little bit. And because he's dead and can't resist, how many feet are you just going the full 15?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to fucking whack him out. I want him out of the way. That was the whole point of me breaking up my action. I wanted to see if I could knock him out of the way.
You did. You killed him.
I'm much braver, so I'm moving up to here.
Yeah, you are much braver.
And now I'm going to hit the bearded devil. I'm still failing to roll with advantage. I'm an idiot.
You are an idiot. That's a fucking
no
good
crit,
damage roll, then.
And now I'm going to go for my bonus action. Which I did remember for the advantage.
That's because it was still on from the last time. Well.
I remember to turn it on this time.
Still 21 damage. Oosh.
Nice,
yeah, I rolled max damage on my 2 halberd attacks. I'm really chuffed.
Yeah, and it's magical damage, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to town on this guy.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
That's good.
Okay, I'll move on to Adrik if Daniel is finished.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, Jaren.
Yeah, he's kind
with
of
your
almost
problem.
surrounded.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Unless you can get him range and do one of your beautiful channel divinities and nuke what's left.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Healing whale, healing word.
Yes, yeah, I know healing word.
I don't think a healing word will heal him enough for it to matter. You're better saving the healing word in case he goes down.
Sure. That's what I'll do then. I will shift 5 feet here and take no attack of opportunities because I'm still in the bearded devil's range.
You are not in range of one of his melee attacks, so he's going to take an attack of opportunity.
No, he's still within his range of one of them, so...
I'm pretty sure it's...
He's still within the bearded devil's threat range, so...
It actually says reach, rather than threat.
Yeah, the bearded devil has a reach of 10. Not for all of his attacks, but for one of them. That's what matters.
To be honest, it's not important enough for me to argue, but I'm going to look it up later.
Okay. Yeah, I will move to there. And everything in a 30-foot radius that I can see that is enemy to me is going to burn in the light of Palor.
Okay.
Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno.
Definitely.
That's a good damage roll.
Fire!
Oh, Constitution roll hell.
Yes.
We knew it was only a matter of time before we were flung into it once more.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to do the bearded devil that's near you first.
Go.
We're looking for 15s. Okay, he takes half radiant. Click on that, click on that. Come on. Give me a clicky. Okay. we're going to do the second bearded devil.
Cool.
No, he didn't like it. But he's still alive. He's looking pretty peaky, but
Yeah,
he's
he
still
can't
alive.
be looking great now.
No, he's not looking great. He's definitely not looking great. Okay. The knoll that's immediately to your north. Why that's an advantage? Probably because of other reasons. Either way, he failed miserably.
That's because you were rolling
Yeah.
advantage on this attack.
Yeah. He's gone from fully healthy to not looking very happy at all.
Good.
The one that's south of Jaren. And then the one that's further down from him. Oh, wow.
We got some hardy gnolls right here.
I'm also then going to go... Oh. They're the only ones you can actually... They're the only enemies that you can see. Yeah.
Yep.
That's actually... I thought I was in for hell then, but actually it's turned out that it's not particularly bad at all. Okay. Well...
I did 63 damage. Yeah. With that, I will then move back to here.
just pop out, zap, go back in. Okay.
Yep.
If you are done, I will move on to Mr. Beardy. Okay, go on. Finish your thing.
Yep. No, I'm all good. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. This bearded devil does not like being flanked. But he's also not seeing too many opportunities to actually perform flanking.
Come on, run away.
He's going to take the disengage action, and he's going to flee.
No, he ain't.
He's going to try, but
Yeah, he's going to try.
Yeah, go on.
Disengage doesn't work against Daniel.
Yeah.
Again, not with advantage, but... Yeah.
Well, technically, he leaves your reach, and you wouldn't be having advantage at the point he leaves your reach. Because he'd leave your reach here.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, fair point. But he's stuck there now.
He's dead there.
Yeah, he's stuck there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. We have... That guard is kind of not happy with that, but he's going to try and flank the bearded devil, which is risky. It's a risky move on his part, but he's going to give it a go anyway. So the gnoll will get a single attack, and he's just going to try and bite him. It hits, but it's only 4 damage. The guard bleeding quite nicely, but other than that, he's still alive. And now the guard is...
An idiot.
he's just doing what he's doing, you know. 15, that is enough to hit the bearded devil. And he does 2 damage.
Shitting yes, these guards are useful.
Barely.
2 damage is better than nothing, I guess.
These guards need pole arms.
The other guard that's next to Callie is going to think, you know what, since these guys are routing and there's the tough guys are in play, he's going to move. He's going to flank this gnoll, and he's also going to give it a good stab.
And Adrik's going to shout, "Come on, it's the conga!"
And he's going
There's a
to...
line of them on there.
Look at that attack roll! On advantage!
Now you know how I felt with my persuasion roll a while ago.
Well, no, now I know how you feel every time you roll in my fucking Pokemon game.
That too. Except Sunstrike. I seem to be charmed with Sunstrike.
Okay. Jaren's gonna stay right where he is, because he's feeling a little bit... He's not feeling too good. He's feeling a bit peaky. So he's gonna slash...
But at the same time, he's in charge, and it wouldn't do to run away.
Oh no, he's not running away. He doesn't look like he's afraid or anything. He looks like he's still definitely in the fight. And he slashes at that gnoll, and the gnoll doesn't like it. Okie dokie. Callie and Adrik, give me perception rolls, please. I'm going to let you do perception rolls for this.
Oh yeah, this is my character that's really good at perception.
So it's
Yeah, that's my best stat. It's the thing I work really well on is wisdom.
You were the guy. Oh my god, you got
so
lower
passive
than
of
your,
17.
Oh my god. Yeah, your 17 doesn't manage. I know you have 17. Your 17 doesn't manage it.
Okay.
Incidentally, halfling luck stopped that from being a nat 1.
This has got to be a bunch of them attacking somewhere else.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, it means I'm going somewhere else. I'm not even going to disengage. I'm just going to walk away from these two.
Why? That's
no.
metagaming to fuck if you do that.
That is metagaming to hell. I know. I'm not actually going to do it until I see something.
Good.
Jesus. Don't be an idiot.
You did sound normal voice then. Okay, so that null is going to think, fuck, well, the devil dude's fucked up. I'm just like legging it. Yeah, he's going to take the dash action. And he's just going to fucking leg it. He doesn't even run the direction the bearded devil was running. He just runs south. And he just fucking goes for it. He drops his weapon and runs.
I like him. I'm going to call him Dave.
Dave the Null. I respect that.
Okay, bit of a random roll here for this guy.
So David the Null?
Yep, he is going to disengage from Jaren anyway. Actually, then again, you've already taken your
I've already
reaction,
used my reaction.
so fuck you. Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't have been surprised whether you took the attack of opportunity or not, even if you did have it. I wouldn't necessarily want to call that one. He's gonna then just flee. He's gonna follow his friend. He doesn't actually throw his weapon away, but he just runs. It doesn't take the dash action, but he runs for it. So that's not how far can he get? What's a little bit outside of his capability. But he's running. He's clearly going as fast as he can after evading Jaren.
Hey, Callie, target practice.
I think we have more pressing concerns.
I'm alright.
You will be.
Are you
I said you will be. Oh, never mind. None of them hit.
You zapping the one that was fleeing, just literally the one I moved?
No, the bearded devil that's right up there that I presume I can see.
Yes, the 13 hits, and the 10 does not.
The 13 hits?
Yeah, the
well,
13
I'm
hits.
surprised on that. Well, in that case, he can take a grand total of 7 damage. Oh, my God. I am humiliated here.
Yeah, he's also slightly humiliated by the fact that you think that's going to bother him.
Yeah, I know. I respect that. Well, sorry guys, you'll have to pick up the slack. Can't roll all 20s every day.
Okay.
Although, Ty, exchange RNGs again, I'd like to roll above a 5.
I'd like to borrow yours for a while longer. Yeah.
It's time to do a stabbing.
I think the stabbing is in order. I mean, if you want to do the overkill, feel free. Actually, no, you're not actually getting advantage, so you can't have a sneaky attack. But fuck, that's a lot. Do you want to insult him for the 3 damage?
The sick burn.
Yes. Your mama so dumb she got lost in the town market.
I mean, that's moderately not as good as the first one, but to be honest, it doesn't matter. You're burning a corpse at this point. My God, the overkill. That was pretty harsh. Anything else?
I would like to basically get over here.
Okay.
See what's up, and then I'll be like,
because it's difficult terrain, and so yeah, but yeah, you're an elf, but yeah.
oh hi.
Okay.
Still see there's a knoll up north there, but everything else seems dead and everything's good. So right, I should be good, right?
I mean, it looks fine to me. If you're done, I'm going to move on to the guard.
All right, cool.
The guard.
Poor bugger to bleed out.
Yeah. Hang on, there is one under there. Yeah. No, that's a bad person.
I'll go back and check on Garmachi next turn, assuming everything's still cool.
Thank you.
He's going to move to there and attempt to stab this now. If he's got two targets and one of them's a devil and one of them isn't, he's going to pick the isn't. Is generally his mindset at this point. Yeah, he stabs that gnoll good, and the gnoll just like arcs his back as the stab goes in, and it flops forward.
Hey! Adrik's no longer looking at the gnoll. Bring it on, bearded the devil!
Okay. It is at this point that you don't need a perception to know this. That onto the car has snuck, whatever. I don't know what the past tense of sneak or snuck is.
Sneakted.
Sneakted. I suspect it's probably not, but we're going to go with sneakted anyway, because I like sneakted. Onto the car, and at this point, the bearded devil sort of urges the horse that for some reason was utterly silent. Like there's not even normal sounds coming from that area of the map. Complete silence. Suddenly now that is broken. And now there's normal sounds coming from that area as the devil and a gnoll riding on the back start taking off with the car.
Oh, we can't have that.
Now, some of the supplies have been unloaded, but the majority are definitely still on. I think some of the weapons might have been taken off, the ammo, but a lot of the armor, food, money, booze, that's all still on there. As far as you were aware, because you were kind of standing about here talking to Jaren. Actually, you can't see that because I'm in GM mode. Yeah, you were about speaking to Jaren about there, so you could kind of see what was going on as you were talking to him, and then all this kicked off. So yeah, that happens.
So
they are not.
Daniel, you've got an action surge.
Yeah. So they start moving off. The horse starts its movement. I'm going to leave them physically where they are, but they are a little bit off the map. And they're starting to pick up some speed. But it's a big cart. So, yeah.
Shoot the horse.
That guard has just slain something. That
Actually, would the horse be within 120 feet of range, out of curiosity?
at the moment still, yes. Next turn.
Yeah, I think we got to kill the horse.
Yeah. Horse is now food.
Okay.
I mean,
Right, the
don't
devil.
get me wrong.
Mm.
Oh, sorry,
No. You go for it. The battle can. You just go on. Give your because it's.
Yeah, I was
tactical.
basically just saying, don't get me wrong. As much as I want to try to not kill horses, maybe keeping the supplies here is a good idea.
What I will say with that though, because you have buildings, and the car is loaded and wider than the horse, line of sight is going to be a serious issue with that horse. If it's
I've
not,
got it.
I was about to say.
But the issue with what I'm thinking is that Daniel's about to fucking start chasing that cart, and it's off the map.
Don't worry, you don't need to. I've got it.
Okay.
All right, well.
So the bearded devil is gonna. He's going to disengage, and he's going to leave in the opposite direction.
Fantastic.
I am going to leave him there. In fact, I'll leave him half off the map to suggest that he is, if you move after him in range. But, yeah, obviously not literally only there. That guard is... He's feeling pretty ballsy right now. He's going to chase after that gnoll. Not that he can actually catch it, but he's going to chase after it. Screaming obscenities. He's got some bravery now. He's got his spear, and yeah, he's going to go for it. Daniel.
Okay. No, I'm assuming I've heard the cart start moving. But I'm going to move up this way anyway, because...
You are aware that there is things like... Just to give you an idea, it is probably about 30 feet forward from its current position. That's about as far as they could get on that first turn.
Okay. I can get to the... I can get in front of this door, basically. With a dash. So I'm going to dash up to here. And how far away are they now?
Well, unfortunately for you, You don't... Well, you might get that far. But unfortunately for you, some readied actions go off. I'm going to move you back to here. And something that... A shape that was out in the... Well, nearly out, pretty much out in the open, but it was blended in with the background visually. Clearly some sort of magical camouflage. This guy's here. And he literally, as you get into range, he immediately lunges at you with an attack. He's only got a short sword. Well, he's got a normal bite short sword. It looks like a fairly normal null. But he then attacks you the moment you get into range.
Oh dear. Blink. I'm just going to keep going.
Okay, move forward one more space.
Okay.
Same deal exactly here. And it also then attacks you with a short sword ready to action.
Sneaky, sneaky null.
That one hits.
Yeah, the thing is that it's not invisibility, so they don't get advantage, but it's still, yeah, they blah blah blah. So yeah, they hit you, but yeah, you've still got your movement if you want to take it.
Yeah, so that's as far as I can get. So how far ahead of me is this cart?
Okay, it's still got its reaction as you leave its reach.
No, it doesn't. It has. You have to use your action to fire off a ready action.
Yes, of course you do. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, how far ahead is this cart?
Like I said, 30 feet beyond where it looks like it is. So you'd have to move another 30 feet to be in combat range of the knoll that's on the back.
Okay, so I can't actually catch it with the horse. Can I get within reach of the horse? If I
how much more movement have you got?
You could dash.
I can action surge for another dash.
Okay, so you can get...
But I want to know if I can get within halberd reach of the horse.
No. If you're moving 30 feet... Okay, if you're moving 30 feet, it's 30 feet in front of you. So if you action surge dashed, you'd be in basically exactly where you are now. You'd be in range of the knoll, you'd be in range of the bearded devil, but the horse is too far away.
Alright, I've got you, Daniel.
Alright, I'm going to hold here because I'm going to... I mean, this is still a fairly laden cut with the draft horse, so...
That's why it didn't get maximum speed straight away. Otherwise, yeah.
I mean, how fast can this thing go is kind of my idea. I mean, we've been driving it, so we know kind of how fast.
Well, you've never started whipping it to the point of trying to drive
I know, but we'll have a rough idea.
It can basically get up to normal horse speed with dash, but it's going to drain stamina incredibly quickly because it's pulling a load. But it will be able to get up to good speed.
I'm not going to burn my action surge then, because I'm going to work off the basis that I can run faster than this for longer and catch up.
If it comes into a chase, I probably can. Okay, if it comes into a chase, I'm going to start doing contests to see who runs out of stamina first, because I know that technically there is no exhaustion mechanism in D&D, whereas you how long can you really dash for? Well,
no, there is.
Well, okay.
I have a question
on
that subject.
Yeah?
If I was flying after it, would that drain my stamina?
If it's magic, then no, I wouldn't have thought so.
Fantastic. So that's something that I could offer into this.
That's a good idea. Well, look, we've got to stop this fucking car. It's kind of the problem.
It will get stopped. I'll stop it on my turn.
All right, fine. Well, that's all Daniel can really do then. I'm not going to waste my action surge just yet.
Okay. So, if that's all you've done, Daniel, I'm going to move on to Adrik. Okay, right.
Uh-oh, he's gone again.
So,
okay.
If Daniel's done, I'm going to move on to Adrik.
Cool. Right. They are 30 feet from their current position, right?
Correct.
Okay. Which is 60 feet from me.
So 90 feet from where you are.
So that's 10.
Oh, the horse is 100 feet away.
Which is...
You have no line of sight on the horse.
Okay. Exactly 20... about... We'll say a nice 17 to 18 feet in front of the horse. I'll fireball. And it'll should outright kill the horse.
Yeah, they should. That's nice.
Yeah, if you
good going.
Fireball is 150-foot range.
Yeah, you can aim a fireball somewhere at the ground ahead or to the side of the horse. Yeah, you can't see the horse, but yeah, you can fire it ahead of the horse where it's in range. Do you want to get the devil and the Null in range? No?
No, because
You wanna
that'll hit
damage
the
the
equipment on the cart.
goods.
So I just want to hit the horse.
Oh, that's fair enough. I'm just gonna say you can pick the location, but I kind of feel like there needs to be because of the judgment. But yeah, technically it would be physically on a map in a set location. So yeah, you just can pick the location. Kind of feels like there needs to be an accuracy roll, but there isn't one because it's not an attack roll. It's a dex thing. Okay, cool. Well, the horse doesn't want to be in a fireball, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to do particularly well. Bear with me while I
Do horses suffer any penalty to dex when they're hitched to a cart?
I mean,
Yeah.
they
Encumbrance penalties, I would
should.
assume.
It's not technically carrying it, but yes, it is going to take a penalty. Yeah, it's not going to be happy about this. No, that's. Oh, I said drop low. I said drop high. It doesn't matter. Well, anyway, 5 is definitely a failure. And horses, yeah, they don't have 23 hit points. So you launch this fireball over. You can see the Null, who is not trying to drive the horse forward. Look, because it arcs over for effect anyway. It arcs over, and it kind of watches the arc as it goes over his head and lands in front. And the Null kind of although it's not in the blast, falls off the back of the car as the wave of heat and explosion incinerates the horse. And the wave of heat just kind of falls off it.
Daniel's just going to yell back to Adrik, "That's good artillery shooting!" You got it!
Adrik's going to take his finger and just go...
I'm not even going to correct the concept of artillery and firearms in this thing. It's cool. You guys have your...
Artillery goes all the way back to ballistas and catapults and scorpions.
Are you
It's still artillery.
for a moment that proper intelligent armies don't have a specific cadre of artillery spellcasters?
I don't think they're called artillery. But also, I was also talking about the fact that he was fake spinning a gun, a handgun, and blowing miming blowing the smoke from the barrel. Don't pick the one out of the two things when you know the other one is fucking absolutely not in this campaign as far as you lot know.
Just gonna do a wee nod to Paylor. We got this, Paylor. We got this.
You could almost feel like he's just hanging his head in his hand, just kind of like you just blown up a horse with my holy fire, and it's like, this is what you're proud of. Out of everything that you're doing in my name, that was the thing that you felt the most proud about.
We're going to save tons of people with the supplies we're going to get back from the two fuckers that are trying to run away with them.
As the horse buckles, because it's incinerated, and the Null falls off the back of the cart. The cart itself, of course, it's the front of it's dragged downwards by the weight of the horse, and the horse stops, becomes a completely dead weight, and the front part of the cart digs into the ground, and the whole thing stops very violently. The devil holds on, but does end up on the ground, and kind of stumbles up and gets up onto his feet a little bit. But he is prone. He will be getting up, assuming that he lives. Is that all you're going to do, Adrik?
No. I've still got a bit more to do.
Go on, then. You do your thing.
I'm going to turn to the guards and be like, "Hold your position! Don't chase the fucking bastard!" And I'm going to start running this way.
Okay, give us a...
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm going to look down the other way and be like, "Fuck! Bugger!" I'm going to have to go heal that bastard.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is... Obviously, the Bearded Devil and the Null to the... I'm going to move them, kind of. Yeah, I'm just going to move them up. No, I don't know why I've moved you there. That's pointless. There you go. Just so that they're out of the way a little bit. Okay. Okay, yeah, this one is just going to try and get... No, I'm going to roll for this. Okay, cool. He's going to disengage for what it's worth. And he's going to leg it north. Kind of like try and stumble over the barrels and everything. Does anything happen when you Yeah, I thought you
I
might
missed.
somehow, but you did miss. He's going to keep on running, and he's kind of knocks over a few crates and barrels as he's trying to get past. He abandons his sword to give himself a free hand, and he sort of leaves the map to the north. The one that fell off the back of the cart, he just kind of gets up, looks around, fuck it, and he runs to the south. They don't seem to be picking the same direction to run, but yeah, he
It's
just...
just fine. It's the devils we need to kill anyway.
Okay, that guard, he's going to actually decide to do what he's supposed to do. He's going to back up, and he's going to hold his position there. He's going to prod the knoll to make sure it's dead, and it definitely seems dead. This other one's going to line up, and they're both going to there watch the devil, make sure it actually leaves. Jaren, he's going to yell to the guard that's to the south. He's going to yell to him to get back here! And he's going to put on a bit of a brave face as much as he can, because he's hurting a bit, but he's not afraid of a bit of pain. So he's
Ain't afraid of no beards.
Yeah, exactly. So he's gonna back up a bit, but keeping a wary eye to the south. He's gonna scan around a little bit. Question is, guys, what are you doing? As far as general plan at this point, because I may just call the turn order now at this point. Even
Okay,
though
my general plan is
Operation Kill Them Bearded
to kill
Devils.
the bearded devil and then pull the cart back into the village.
Okay, so...
How hurt did the one that's running away look?
The bearded devil? Oh, the one that's running away, because two of them are running away. The one that's running away, he looked... He'd taken a hit or two, but he was still mostly... Yeah, he's still fighting fit.
Because I'm pretty certain between me and Callie, we can just blap him from range.
Maybe?
I mean, my hex doesn't wear off if he leaves the range of the hex if I've hexed him in range, and I haven't changed targets yet.
Yeah, you've got 120-foot range of just blapping until it drops.
Yeah. They seem to have about the same speed as you guys, so when they dash, it's only 60 foot on a dash.
Good.
So they would take them 5 rounds to get out of range.
Where you are, Adrik?
Hmm?
Good, so if I just move up like 10, 20 feet, I'm good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet.
I'll keep an eye on you.
Excellent. Oh, it's fine. I've got another fancy thing this level that I forgot about last session. Means that I can survive the occasional hit more.
Well, you've already got your hex on it as well, so you can do your maddening shit.
Exactly. Well, no, I can't, because he needs to be in range for that.
Okay.
Oh, is he not in range for that?
Okay, the bearded
No,
devil...
you need to be 30 feet for maddening.
The bearded devil on the cart. He is going to spend his action to throw a vial at the cart. Some sort of glass vial. Which immediately erupts into flames. It doesn't engulf the cart. It doesn't engulf the cart completely. But there was a lot of hay on the cart disguising everything, and the cart is in of itself wood. So yeah, it definitely catches fire. From what you remember, the equipment was wrapped up, protected reasonably well. And some of it's, of course, metal, which is going to take quite a while for heat to damage, but obviously there are straps and various other parts. So yes, all of the things.
It was all in crate as well.
Gotta get the shit off of that.
Some of it was in crate, some of it was wrapped up in canvassing, things like that. But yes, some of it's not going to all be destroyed now. But yeah, certainly if it carries on burning, it's all going to be.
We need to put it out, basically.
After he does that,
here could shape water.
After he does that, the beard devil's going to flee in the opposite direction for his regular movement. So he's a fair distance away now. So, question is, what...
I can put it out, I just need to get to it.
So, question is anybody stopping... No, that's gone. Daniel, you can't stop that flesh nor a Callie. Are you shooting any gnolls like that one?
Nah.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to get rid of him because he legs it.
Cool.
I'm cleaning the board, is basically what I'm doing. The guards are irrelevant now because they are unable to help you with anything. Jaren... Oh! Okay, so the bearded devil, he runs. Callie, what are you doing?
Right. Moving up here. Hey, look, there's a bearded devil. devil over there.
Indeed, there is.
Unfortunately, I can't get everything off on him because I'm not within 30 feet, nor could I ever get within 30 feet and maintain concentration on hacks. So,
Yeah, you hit him.
press the repeat. I'm waiting for it to happen.
It will eventually.
I'll press it again.
And we'll just take the first one if two come through.
Hey, and a crit!
Nice.
That is nice.
That's 3 sets of necrotic right
Wow.
there. How's this guy looking?
Oh god, let me do the
Dead.
maths. Yeah, he's not looking. He might well be dead. Yeah, he flops
That's
over.
22
That's
plus-
over 40 damage.
Yeah.
There we are. There's the rolls I was missing this entire fight.
They, I
We'll
mean,
get there in the end, folks.
they had slightly more hit points than regular, but yeah, not that many more hit points than regular.
Yeah, that one is
Those
already
Eldritch
taking,
Blast crits.
I mean,
it's
Oh,
already
man, when
taking
they
like
crit,
20
they crit.
damage.
okay,
And
Callie.
we'll also turn and see the supplies burning. It's like, somebody deal with that.
So basically, from Daniel, they were like 30 feet ahead. The fireball went off. It kind of flipped over a bit. He's had another movement, so he's a good 60 foot, a little bit over 60 foot away from Daniel, that devil is.
Adrik will shout, Daniel, get him! I'll get the car!
Okay, Orkon.
Yes. So they seem to be having things kind of in sorted out, I think. So I'm going to go check on the buddy over here. How's this guy doing?
He's dead.
Okay. Then I shall use the.
No, we
rest-
failed.
We didn't save them all! We were so
One of them
close!
died.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't jump in the way of the Knoll's attack. I tried, but I wasn't able to kill him in one shot. So, oh well. I'm going to keep going. 8, 4, 6. All right. I'll say to Adrik, yeah, he's dead. So, go ahead.
Okay. Daniel. Bearded devil. It's a little bit more than 60 feet away from you. It's fucking legging it.
A little bit more than 60 feet ahead of me is fine, though, because I only need to get within 10.
It's fine. I see.
No.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I need to be a bit more precise than that. Okay. Originally, the bearded devil was exactly there ahead of you. On the cart. Because the thing that it fell forward as the cart crashed. It then moved. So it is. Yeah, it is. Oh my god, it is literally.
It needs to
It
be
only
75
moved
or
30.
more for me to not.
It
be
only
able to
moved
get
30
them.
feet, and Daniel was 30 feet from the cart, so it
Yeah,
is
so
Yeah, it's.
75
I should be able to
exactly.
just get within my halberd range.
You're like 5 feet out of your halberd range. That is how close this is fucking thing.
No, I'm not letting it get away. So I'm going to dash, and I'm going to action surge, and I'm going to dash again, and I'm going to fucking stand in front of this
Haven't
thing.
you already action surged?
No.
Okay.
I decided
you didn't.
not
Yes,
to.
you did, didn't you?
And I'm going to stand in front of this fucker, and I'm going to roar in his face, because
That it? Or are you gonna stab him?
I can't stab him, because I use my action surge to double dash, basically.
Oh, yeah, double dash. So you're just gonna use your reaction basically to fuck him up. Okay, cool. Adrik, what are you doing?
Well, I can't run that fast, and anyway,
No.
it's not my issue with the.
But what are you doing?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I get to there. The cart's still like 30 feet from me.
It's
How far is it?
It's a little over 30 feet from you there. It's like 40 feet, 35 feet. I mean, you're gonna have to go 40 feet to get to the middle of it, if you know what I mean, to then do anything about putting it out. So you're gonna need 40 foot.
Okay, I can't. No, because I can't do it this time, even
If
if
you
I
can't do
dash.
it this turn, then do you have something you can snipe at this bearded devil with?
Yeah, I do. So I'm gonna guide and bolt this fucker.
Oh, that's going to make my reaction at advantage if you hit.
Yeah, that's the point.
Do it. Let's see
So
that
I'm gonna
roll.
guide and bolt the fucker.
Yeah, you hit the bugger.
12 radiant.
Yeah, the next attack roll against that target before the end of your next turn. Advantage. Okay. Jaren. He is going to move up a little bit. And he is going to drop his longsword, pull the longbow off his back. And he's going to think, fuck you, bearded devil.
Take him down.
And
I'm going to hit Jaren.
You're not going to hit him.
No, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to kill him.
You're not going to kill him. He's going to...
No, I will. As soon as he shoots the bearded devil, I'll turn around and I'll kill him.
That's...
Why?
Yeah, that's
Because
like...
he's taking the advantage away from Daniel. That's the issue.
Your character has no concept of this, nor does he. If you do, I think Palor's going to fucking abandon you. I'm just going to say that. You kill a random good man just because he stole or something? I didn't even understand the motivation. Yeah.
It won't be kill steal because the thing's got too much health.
Yes, but
Anyway,
the point
continue.
is, yeah, exactly. It's like, so I'd be careful. I'd be careful what you suggest you're going to do. Okay. Yeah, he hits it.
You can still shout at him.
I will. I'll turn around and be like, Jaren! You idiot!
So, the glimmer fades on the bearded devil. And the bearded devil thinks, fuck this shit. I think he knows enough about you at this point, having seen you fight. He's just gonna fucking dash.
This one hasn't seen Daniel fight. Daniel was around the fucking corner, and
Okay,
he's
okay,
on the cart.
okay. I have a question for you. Where has this devil been throughout the entire fight? Okay,
But the fight was only
Defend
lasted
the
about
fight.
3 rounds.
so he's gonna dash. Trust me, he's seen you guys fighting. Hell, he technically saw you fighting in the clearing, but hey, you know,
Alright, well, I'm going to take my attack of opportunity.
that's fair enough.
That should hit.
It definitely hits, and he gets stopped dead.
And I'm going to trip,
Okay.
just to make sure.
Yeah, as I say, you don't know what enemies know, so.
Alright, I was just saying. But,
Okay.
yeah.
And he's gonna do his strength attack, strength to save. That's the one. Yeah, okay. I know, but he stopped.
He's
dead.
still
lost
stuck.
Yeah, he's still stuck in that location. His 0 fucking speed.
It's like, I use my action surge to catch up, and as long as I keep hitting him, he can't get away.
Absolutely, Callie.
Excellent.
I would say at this point, fuck it, yeah, you guys take this guy out. There's no point me doing this little tit-for-tat shenanigans. There are too many of you there.
There's a lot of damage about to start being applied to this thing.
Exactly. So yeah, as far as I'm
It'll take me a
concerned...
while to get there because I don't have squat nimbleness, but yes.
Okay, so the question is now, you kill the devil, you defeat him, that's easy to do. What are you doing about the cart?
When I get to the cart, I'm going to use create or destroy water and create a water and just dump it over the cart.
How
Put it
much
out.
water does that create? Click on that spell, let's have a little look.
It creates
Quite a lot, I think.
Yeah,
Sizable amount, if I recall.
that's the wrong spell.
Basically
10
the
gallons.
Starving village.
Okay, 10 gallons. I know what a gallon is. A gallon is not a vast amount, but 10 gallons is certainly enough for a blaze of this, to cover a blaze.
But it's
of
only
this
had
size.
2 rounds to spread as well.
Absolutely, it's not been spreading that much, and 2 rounds is like 12 seconds. The only I am going to double check, though, because it's not just Flint and Tinder that set this off, and I can never fucking remember.
Alchemist fire.
Yeah.
I don't think alchemist fire really has much of a definition in the book.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't.
not Greek fire by any means, because I know they
No.
Yeah, it's not.
usually they make a separate item for that.
Yeah, it's not a special kind of thing. All it is something that ignites.
It's just a liquid bomb.
Yeah, it is
Yep.
basically just, it creates a normal fire. So yeah, your
D4
10 gallons.
fire.
There's a few bits here and there that are still alight, because obviously aiming this thing is difficult, but it's pretty fucking easy for Adrik and Daniel to pat out those bits and kick off the bit of hay that's still ablaze and stamp. You can get the fire under control.
Daniel,
Actually, no, because one of the things that you can do with it is it falls like rain. Goes flame, extinguishing.
Oh, you're probably
those
better
flames
just
in the
dumping
area.
it, and we can just stomp out the rest. Seriously.
I've literally
Yeah,
I've
well.
flavor text the fact that you succeed in your plan, and you're saying, "Oh no, I'm going to do it this way." It's like that.
No, it's just I was just
Yeah,
saying
so
that-
Daniel's gonna run up and cut the dead horse free from the cart, and is gonna pick up the front bit of the cart and very slowly, I imagine, start pulling it back into the village.
Yeah, most of the cart is intact. It's certainly structurally absolutely fine. The fire caught on a few of the edges, but it all got put out. It's sturdy wood. It would take a long way to burn through anyway. You've put out the fire. However, you wanted to put out the fire. You put out the fire. And yeah, it's heavy, but you're a fucking strong guy. So yeah, you can...
And it's on wheels, on a road, so...
Yeah, and it's not far. So you can...
And once I get it moving, I'm just going to keep it moving.
Yeah, and once you get the moving going, it's half as difficult once you get it moving. So yeah, guys, you saw off the attack, and even protected the card as well with fancy
And
uses
the vast
of things.
We
majority
lost a
of the NPCs.
guard!
I know. I
Hey,
need to get a
we only
replacement.
lost one guard. Given how expendable these guys were, I'm impressed.
I'm blaming Orkon for this. That guard died on Orkon's watch.
Wow.
I did all I could.
He's not a He's not a lifesaver. He's a life taker.
I am going to
Meepo!
burn. I'm going to burn a second level spell slot for Cure Wounds on Jaren.
Yeah, Jaren's definitely looking more haggard, but he's clearly capable of taking a bit more. He's actually managed with
You can regain 13.
he's actually managed to get the guard up on his feet. You know, the one that was taken down that was like stabilized by
Ooh,
you.
good going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to slowly pull the cart a bit further into the village than it was.
Okay, guys.
Sort
Yeah,
of where Daniel is now. But...
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can definitely move it so that it's basically
Put it
not,
up against this wall
Yeah, it's sort of, in that little wedge.
in that corner, so it's more difficult for somebody to take it away.
That's fine, whatever. I can totally manage that. That's not a problem. So guys, yeah, you fought off the attack. Those gnolls that actually survived fled. Some of them with their weapons, some without. There's an eerie silence. Initially, when there was an attack, a few of the civilians started screaming and crying, but a lot of them just kind of either calmed down inside the houses in that short battle, or they just were told to shut the fuck up by whoever else was in there. So it's an eerie silence over there. The only noise really at the moment is heavy breathing, gentle rustling in the trees, couple of ravens on a roof eyeing up the corpses that have been strewn.
Gentle rustling in the trees, you say? I see you, bearded devil. Get out of there.
It's a tree, and it's got a slight breeze.
And it's now Eldritch Blast. Fuck.
Daniel's currently sort of bent over. He just went on basically a 100-meter dash in heavy armor and then pulled the cart back.
Yeah, absolutely. The birds don't seem bothered by the fact you're attacking a tree. They sort of they one of them hops down and starts pecking at one of the gnolls.
Leave that tree alone.
I think we should kick him from the
take a bow
campaign.
after that.
No! Stop it. Right, I need to take a harder line with these puns. Seriously, I let them go.
I think you really do need to get to the root of the problem here.
We both went for root puns. Hey!
My pun was going to be,
No,
I'm such a sap for letting you off with these things.
It's
so
all
easily.
right. We just have to truncate how much we allow.
What?
Yeah, well, I think we need to branch out a bit.
Just no.
Malik, it's time you broke down some borders here.
Any more? No.
Well, I don't know if you twigged the last one, but
Any more? No.
We're just gonna leave it alone.
You've already done
Ashes
one.
to ashes, then.
I mean, that's... It's a bit vague. I mean, yeah, I get it, but
Oh, yeah, because... Come on, I'm not gonna...
let's just.
Let's just not, okay?
Okay, so, in the meantime, I'm gonna walk over to Jaren after the calamity there and sort of look at him and ask why precisely monster beings with tentacle beards would be so invested in making sure they don't get these supplies.
He's at the moment still bent down. He's helping the guard that you guys saved. He's got a medical kit. He's got a little medical healing kit there, and he's patching up his wounds. He's clearly tending to his guard first. He looks up and he just shakes his head. He's clearly has no idea, and then he carries on and says, "I don't rightly know. These things I've never seen before. The gnolls I've seen before. But this might make sense, and you killed one before, and it's beyond my pay grade to understand these."
Well, they definitely look like they really didn't want you to have these.
I
So
don't
I'm
know
glad
why.
I got them to you.
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, this place, it's alright. It produces a lot of food for Shadford, but there are other farms. There's villages nearby. I don't know why this would be tactically important. And these creatures, they don't even seem natural.
That they don't. Some form of otherworldly monstrosity.
I think, as I was saying before the attack, this Bradwin, he knows the gnolls. Maybe he knows what these things are, if he hasn't fallen to some fate.
Oh yes, we should get on to tracking this guy down.
He gets up, and the guard that he's been looking after, he kind of nods and to indicate that, yeah, he's all right now and everything. And Jaren, he pats Adrik on the shoulder as a thanks and everything, and he smiles at people. You know, he's a soldier. He knows when he was out of his depth, and he was about to go over to Daniel, but Daniel wandered up to him, and he gives Daniel a very firm shake, because it's clear that Daniel's put a lot of effort into getting those supplies back. And he recognizes that, and there, yeah, he's looking at you all. You know, he recognizes you all.
You might want to get them distributed sooner rather than later, especially if we're going to leave to go and talk with this fella.
He nods, he looks around, and he starts to bark a few orders, regardless of what you're about to say. He barks a few orders. He orders one guard to help the injured guard to get into the tavern. He says, get whatever able-bodied people out here to help unload the carts. Don't care whether or not they're guards. They're going to help us unload the supplies. Everybody's in this now. And he barks a few orders. Guards start moving around. He tells two of them to keep watch. And if anything turns up, don't engage them. Just come straight back to here. And yeah, he organizes things with a reasonable good of efficiency. You can tell that this fight has not shook him up, but it's taken him off guard.
I was going to suggest that, since they've shown that they're quite willing to attack the village, he might want to set up some barricades in the alleys between the houses and actually get some things thrown up across the roads as well.
He nods and asks if you would help him do that.
Yeah,
he needs as many elbow bodies as possible. It's getting a little bit late now. Obviously, the sun's still up.
Yeah, we can go see this Bradwin tomorrow, I guess.
I'll be happy to pitch in as well. I can still fly about if you need me to drop overhanging things and mage hand or something.
I don't think it's a good idea that we leave to go and find this Bradwin, or not all of us go.
Well, I think we can see what the situation is in the morning. I think we can help bolster the defenses tonight and get a night's rest, and then we can head out in the morning.
I certainly agree with that.
I'll help out.
So basically, what you're saying, guys, unless someone objects, I assume all you guys are going to help bolster defenses, collect corpses, heal all the general kind of after battle and then defensive prep for tonight.
Yeah. The idea is that if we're going to have to go and leave and see this Bradwin fellow, we want these guys to have much better defense.
Yes.
Okay. So
there's also a mention of a Chardmo, right?
Chardmo, yeah, he spoke to Chardmo in front of you guys because he knew more.
Yeah.
And he was the one that reminded him of the name Bradwin, because he's the store owner and tends to deal with Bradwin whenever he comes in. Because Bradwin pops in, kind of buys and sells and leaves. He doesn't stick around for any reason, other than to just get the trade done and leave. He's not hostile. He's not unsociable. He just doesn't have any vested interest other than trade for the village. Jaren has basically marks, or Chardmo specifically actually marks on the map, if you wish, and I'm sure you do, the location where he knows Bradwin was a few years back, He's not aware that Bradwin has moved since then, and certainly he's been back and forth every few months anyway, so he's no reason to believe that he's moved from that location. And it's in the woods. There's nothing else in the map. It's just hilly woodland. Slightly rocky. Nothing.
Honestly, it
Go on.
might be an idea to shift that tent to more in the center of town.
Yeah, we could maybe suggest chopping this fucking tree down and moving their supplies into the center of the village.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason why he didn't put the tent there was because there's a fucking tree there, and you don't. Put
Yeah,
a
but the
tent
tree
under
can
a
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Deploy
get that shatter spike and start
remove
locking.
tree,
I'm
problem
gonna
solved.
start tree surgeoning this fucking tree.
He apparently a couple of people kind of mutter, villagers very quietly mutter that the tree's been there forever, but there's nothing special about it. It's just
And
a
besides,
kind of,
we need this tree to build barricades.
yeah. At that
Yep.
point, Jaren does not disagree with you guys. He says to the people, and he seems quite understanding while he just tells you to fucking get on with it. And he speaks to them and he explains that there won't be a village to have a tree that's always been here if these creatures come in there and kill everybody. He's not.
This is a two birds with one stone. We can use the branches and the logs and everything to build barricades, and we clear the space for the supply tent.
Okay.
Yeah, move the supply tent into the center of town.
And we
Definitely.
make sure that we build a really sturdy barricade where this initial attack came in.
Yeah, block this
Oh, aye.
2 area.
Basically, they need to be barricades that are actually a significant barrier, so that they can actually make use of all these fucking bows and arrows that they've got.
Maybe an idea is we can sharpen some of the twigs and chop off
Yeah.
the heads of the knolls and put them around the edge.
Proper barricade with stakes.
Well, that's not really a
Hands
barricade.
on Mike's
Alright.
approach isn't necessarily going to make things better. It's obvious these things were goaded into.
Oh no,
battle.
I think stakes are a good idea. I don't think putting the gnolls' heads on is going to help.
Stakes jutting outwards to, provide a further disincentive for assault. Yeah, totes.
We want to build barricades that you have to roll acrobatics to get over. Is kind of the deal.
Yeah, definitely one in between these houses here so that they can't come down this alleyway. Like completely
our-
block
Oh yeah,
off.
we just got to block up that
Skill
alleyway.
alive check.
We're just gonna wedge the tree trunk in that alleyway.
Yeah, basically, what all barricades during your little mad upgrading this place kind of a thing, all barricades get upgraded in the sense that you need an acrobatics like DC 15 or something to get over them without
Or you have to
taking.
commit to chopping them up a bit.
Yeah, basically, you have to either chop them up a bit, spend a whole action climbing over it, or an acrobatics DC 15, or take a fucking D6 of spike damage and stop on the spikes kind of thing. I'm not going to come up with specific rules. I'm just saying that they are significantly better now.
Yeah, we might be able to see about if any of the villagers can use bows and get them on the roofs or something, in case it's necessary.
Possibly maybe getting some ladders and
Okay, the roofs are not strong enough to hold weight. They're not strong enough to hold weight.
Well, they can still hold a bow and stand behind a fucking barricade.
Yeah. Basically, he gets the bodies, and I'm just going to move them out of the way, partly just for tidying the map up, but also partly because they do get the bodies out the way, and they just chuck them in a line there. If you really want to put heads on spikes, then fine, we can say you've done that. If you don't, then we don't.
The barricade there, I'd move to more on the side of that house, kind of going down the way, so it makes more of a bottled entrance.
I think the point is that these barricades are actually just blocking the way.
The point is that I'm going
Like
to
that.
say to you now, if we do end up in this situation again, I will happily. So what, you want to it there?
No. Lengthways, like that way. So it's
That's oh shit. What am I doing now? Didn't want to do that.
Everything's
just
moving.
Shh.
Earthquake!
Oh my god, we're all gonna die.
No, so it's like like that.
Right, that's cool. Right. Okay.
So that-
Let's not spend the whole of the rest of the
From
session
this end.
on barricades.
Building
Hey, you're the
defenses.
one who gave us a city builder.
Yeah, we'll city build if it comes to it.
No. So, basically, yeah, that's pretty much it. I want Everyone to give me a perception roll.
Yay!
Uh-oh.
Somebody who isn't terrible gets to make one.
Oh, hey.
22.
I got a 6.
You see all of the nothing.
Yeah!
Anybody else?
You see barricades.
No. Okay, cool. So, Adrik.
Yup.
You see, you're not really looking around too much, but while you're working and the tent gets put up, and at some point, because you guys are moving around quite a bit, you're probably like about here helping with this barricade.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. And they've moved most of the bodies from that field that's beyond that way. There's a couple of bodies left. And the raven's pecking at the cheek of one of the gnolls. It's obviously made a nice hole in there and it's gotten to the tongue or something like that. It's being a gross bird. And then the other one lands next to it. And normally you wouldn't notice this. There's just something odd about the way they're moving. And you could have sworn one of them speaks to the other and they both just fly away. But you don't know what it said.
Oh, and people called me paranoid for shooting at random things.
The tree.
Really, the only mistake I made was not shooting at the birds.
What languages do you know, Adrik?
Common and Dwarven.
Yeah, you don't recognize this language, but it definitely was a spoken
Sounded like
language.
they talked.
It did sound like one talked to the other.
I shoot it.
You only kind of you're not even paying attention. You don't get to shoot it.
When they start flying away,
They're gone. They're straight in over the trees. By the time you did I just speak? You fucking did, and they're gone. It's like you have to double take with your ears and memory because you're distracted building a barricade. You don't get the opportunity to shoot it. It's a plot fucking device. Shut the fuck up. It's a fluke you even noticed that this was happening. That was it. That's all that you notice.
All right, we get it. They got away, Malik. There's no need to crow about it.
They're not crows. They're ravens.
Well, don't do us an unkindness then.
A what?
That's the collective noun for ravens. That's the pun.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. I didn't actually know that. I only know murder of crows. I didn't know an unkindness.
It's an unkindness of ravens, a tiding of magpies, a parliament of rooks. I can never remember the one for jackdaws.
Oh, you don't want to come up against rooks. They'll just jam you.
Hey.
only if I was a druid and could have taken after them.
Yeah, you know what? Once again, it's like the sort of thing where we really could have used a druid in the party.
It feels like that was a massive oversight on your guys' part to not have a druid.
Yeah.
To be fair, if we did have a druid, they probably wouldn't be level 8. And therefore wouldn't be able to fly.
That is a good point as well.
Well, no, but he could have talked to them or had more of a reason to investigate.
I'll just head back.
I wouldn't go so far as to assume that we'd have a male druid. Who knows?
Just hypothetically. People tend to, when they talk about hypothetical people or people whose names they don't know, they tend to go with their own sex when they're talking about he's and she's.
True.
On average, the average person does.
Anyway.
At any rate, this Bliason Blarkaderminer could probably have been a really useful member.
Yeah, but you know what druids are like. They're unreliable. So yeah, I wouldn't have put too much stock in it. So, okay guys, yeah, you do that. You help the rest of the evening. Starts getting dark. You guys are pretty strong. You've got magic. Guards are helping. Some people are helping. A couple of them get given bows. They're not too sure. A couple of them are either hunters or have been, or at least know roughly how to use a bow, so it's not a complete loss. There's a bit more of a defense.
But for what it's worth, we can spend, in the twilight, we can spend like half an hour or whatever just teaching them some very basic shit on, you know,
how to
shoot a bow.
Yeah.
How to not shoot your friend.
Since I'm rubbish at actual weapons, I'm happy to quickly set up a little bit of a sort of morale-boosting campfire feasty thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll help with the bow teaching.
How are they doing for supplies? Like, have they got any livestock around here or anything?
They've got a few chickens that seem to just disappear when trouble hits and then reappear when it's gone. They just kind of wander around
How
loose
many?
around the village. A dozen, maybe. Apparently there's a chicken coop behind one of the outer buildings that are not on this map. And they're kept for eggs.
Okay.
They're not really owned by anyone in particular. They're just kind of the semi-wild village chickens that hang around, and people just... I mean, Chardmo puts some seed down when the seed's starting to get a little old, and they don't give a shit. They just eat it anyway, so...
Can we blag an omelette then?
Oh, you could definitely. I mean, they've normally got quite a few eggs, and to be honest, a lot of people around here are
Oh
very
man,
happy.
if they've got eggs, I can make a miracle.
Okay, they've got some jerky, they've got some like broad beans, they've got obviously breads, cheeses, nothing special cheese-wise, plenty
You
of
guys know what
bread.
time it is, right? It's snake stew time.
Oh, snake stew. Oh, everyone's looking forward to that.
That's probably quite exotic for these villagers.
Yeah, whether it's good or not, exotic doesn't mean much if it tastes like shit, or...
Hey, salted snake
Hey,
isn't...
it's a local delicacy. Where Callie's from.
It's
Because everybody knows what local delicacy means.
a local delicacy means acquired taste means it's whatever shit.
No,
you
local
find.
delicacy means what kind of shit do you think we can get this foreigner to eat?
Yeah, pretty much. And to be honest, this is a local delicacy. You're not very close to the temple in the jungle, but you are closer to that than you would be in Shadford. This might be the closest bit of civilization, minus maybe a farm somewhere in that direction. Might be the closest you've got to that temple, so it's as local as it's going to be.
Well, either way, I'm going to set that up. I'll do some omelets on the side. I've still got a couple apples, but I'm trying to save those for second breakfasts.
They've got some berries, some various berries, some of the more wild berries. Some of them are kind of
I
like
can season things with that. I can put a pudding together.
gooseberries.
Actually,
They've got rice.
oh.
Plenty of rice.
Daniel, can you get on the pudding?
Do we have flour?
They do have flour.
I'm gonna make a pie then.
Good. You're set.
So, after you've spent, an hour bolstering the defenses of game time, you're going to spend an hour deciding on what we're going to eat. And yeah, there's... To say that, they've lost a guard, there's a bit of a... Jaren he's not a heartfelt, but it's thoughtful ceremony for the guard. And there's a little place that... Obviously, over the years, people do get buried in from the local village. So it's not a graveyard as such, but it is an area outside of the village, which is fenced off.
It's a burial mound.
It's not a mound. It is a place where there are graves, but it's nothing what you would not call it a graveyard. But everyone gets their own little pit to get thrown in, basically. And he says some thoughtful, if not necessarily heartfelt words. And thankfully...
He would still be with us if he wasn't so shit.
I mean, he doesn't quite go that heartless. And you hear, comments after the funeral by some of the other guards. And they kind of... One of them mentions, casually to the other, quiet but not whispering, about, tiny silver lining that he didn't have any kids or a wife. He was quite a young guy. His parents are going to be really upset, but, there aren't going to be hungry mouths because of him, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
There's no need to sugarcoat a loss. It's still sad that it happened, but...
And if I get the opportunity to mention anything, I'm going to, say my thanks, and that he laid down his life for me, and I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Go on, do it. Do it. Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the guards who you get the impression knew this guard. They weren't necessarily really. They weren't like blood brothers or related or anything, but they got the impression that they got on because they joined this particular group together. So they kind of had a chat on the way here. You actually see your words are the only thing that just managed to bring him to tears. Just a couple of tears. and he makes a he kind of does his best to hide the fact that he's done that, and he doesn't do a very good job. But yeah, you're very, very, very sweet words. You kind of put Jaren to shame a little bit. He doesn't seem to care, but yeah, it was beautiful.
Jaren's just doing his job. I respect him.
Yeah. After that, however you've lost... Oh, go on. If it was to do the funeral, go for it.
Yeah, I will also, seem like I'm holding back tears a little bit.
With that deception, I mean, it's not a crit, but it was a good deception roll, so I'm going to let you convincingly look upset.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And yeah, after the funeral, the preparations are going ahead. A lot of the people in the village, the villagers, the peasants, they didn't really know him, but obviously no death is good. But the mood kind of is... It goes from somber to a little bit, not celebratory, but a kind of, in the face of this shit, we're not going to let
More of them died.
Yeah, we're not going to let this, trample us down, because, we've got all these heroic adventures that saved our fucking lives. And this is where a lot of the food comes from. A lot of people donate a few bits here and there. Cutlery comes out, food comes out, stuff that people have been saving comes out. There's a few people that offer a little bit of meat, because obviously meat is quite a premium in these sorts of ages amongst peasants. So you get quite a selection. The guy that runs the actual, I in quotes, tavern, brings out one of his kegs. And he sets it on a little stool, and he's happy to pour people a drink each, just as a sort of a celebration almost of the fact that they're all still alive. And a couple of people play some slow music, nothing too crazy. But there's this atmosphere of, we're not celebrating that we're in a good situation or that good things have happened, but we're celebrating that we still have lives to enjoy, and that we're not going to let things slow us down.
Sometimes you celebrate just for the sheer fact that you have the ability to celebrate at that moment in time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You learn that the guy who runs this free house is called Bowden. He's just a farmer, but his family runs the farm, and he tends to live here in the village, and he runs the tavern, brews a lot of his own things on the farm, ferries in the kegs. It's nothing fancy. He normally charges a copper piece for a tankard, or for a mug, should I say. So it's pretty cheap stuff. It's clearly just, I brew this, it's a tolerable taste, and it gets you drunk. That's pretty much what this stuff is. And yeah, the evening passes, and you guys get given effectively a room that has not got enough beds. I'm not even gonna not gonna say that it's got enough beds, but it's...
Look, I know it's a little waterlogged and probably has, like, devil jizz on it or something, but I'll sleep in the cart.
Oh, they have definitely decided to open up one of the houses. Why that particular house is opened up, I don't really know. But basically, the house that's immediately above Orkon is basically this little house that they put aside for you. It's clearly that somebody did... or does live there. They do own it, but apparently, well, not all of them are around anymore, so they're just going to let you sleep in there, make do. It's basically...
Sweet. Right. But before Daniel turns in, he's going to make one last tour of the defences and make sure that they're all as they should be.
Yeah, Adrik will come along with you.
The guards all have longbows. They have better armor. They actually have breastplates. Breastplates look quite familiar, Adrik. The leatherworking doesn't look as familiar around the breastplates, but But yeah, they're better equipped. They've got longbows. They've got all sorts of extra stuff that makes things just a little bit better.
There's a little tiny bed. Never mind, guys.
Yeah, it's certainly not. It's not big enough for anyone but you.
Yes.
And it's not
From a
wide enough
background
for
point of
Adrik.
view, this kind of fighting is exactly what Daniel has experience with.
Oh yeah, you wander around. You have a little look around, and a couple of people. They're glad to see you because you're the most soldiery person in the group. Apart, well, in the adventurer group. You and Adrik definitely look the military type. You more so though. And yeah, they're pretty happy that you're checking things around. Jaren also seems to not give a shit that you're doing stuff that he would normally do. It just gives him opportunity to do other things. So he is. He seems to
Does Jaren actually get some time off?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't let himself have time off. He's busy showing people how to work things. He's checking on the guards. He's making sure that people have healing kits distributed. There's a few healing potions in the supplies. He's making sure the guards, have got them. He's really making sure everybody. Some of the guards here have never worn a breastplate before, so
I might not know how to put it
noticed
on.
that he hasn't taken any kind of a powder, I'm going to quickly offer one of my apples to him.
Oh, he kind of like looks like he's just gonna thank you and refuse, but then he kind of like, yeah, he does take the apple and he takes a breather and he does eat it. It's like the reminder he needed perhaps just to take 5 fucking minutes, you idiot, kind of a deal.
I know the type.
Oh, what are you laughing at now, Adrik?
No, she says she knows the type. It's like, that sounds a lot like Adrik.
No.
Job on the brain.
No, not in the same way. Obsessive, perhaps, but not in the same way. But either way, it looks like the defenses are good. A couple of the civilians are in place. I'm not going to move everybody into their exact positions because it's just a lot of work for potentially nothing. Okay, guys, if you're heading off to a long rest now, I guess we should long rest you.
Yay!
There's one thing I want to do before I go to bed, though.
Okay.
Bedtime story? I'm up for it.
Well,
What's
no,
it gonna
actually,
be, Orkon?
I was going to track down that guard who was friend with the guy who died next to me.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna
I'm
just
say
sort
he's
of.
the one nearest to you, who's to the south of the house that you've been given. So literally,
So this guy.
That guy, yeah.
And I'll just sort of like come up to him and say something like, "Yeah, it's been a rough day. I'm really sorry about your friend. I didn't know him really at all, but he laid down his life for all of us, really." And I'm going to put my hand around his shoulders and give him a quick hug.
He's
not 100% necessarily sure how to react to the hug. He kind of pats you on the shoulder with his free hand in a kind of okay.
And I'm going to use sleight of hand to slip 10 silver pieces into his pocket.
Oh, into?
Oh, the reverse pickpocket. Oh!
You succeed easily in doing this. Yeah, 21, that's easy. I'm not even going to roll his perception. He's not expecting people to give him stuff. So, yeah,
You just surprised him with a hug anyway.
Yeah. You get the feeling that it was only as you hugged him this particular time that he realizes that, oh god, it's a guy. And then it kind of just surprised him a little bit. And then he's like, I'm being hugged by a guy. I was kind of up for it, and now I'm conflicted feelings.
It's a trap.
Literally a trap.
Just let your feelings happen, man. It's all cool.
You ain't got time for that.
Nobody's judging here.
And then I'll take my leave quietly and go to bed.
Okay, cool. That's a very sweet of you. So okay, everyone pile in the room unless you're sleeping on the dirt.
I get a tiny bed.
There is a hobbit bed.
Yes, there is a hobbit bed. It looks like it's actually supposed to be a child's bed, but it's clear that there hasn't been a child in there for a while.
It happens all the time. It's really polite for people to say they've got children.
Uh-huh. But actually, you know that they've taken that extra effort to... Actually...
Well, it's one of those little hospitality quirks that tall folk do. It's just nice.
Okay. So
Daniel's going to sleep exactly where he is. Prop his equipment against the wall.
Okay.
All right.
What, in your armor?
Well, no, I'm assuming that we're just, dealing with the armor.
Yeah,
I will having to say every single time.
Yeah, I always assume that people get out their armor to sleep, because if you've got heavy or medium armor...
Sleeping, like, standing up, I'm like, whoa, man.
Yeah, that's hardcore. No, I'm assuming that unless you got light armor, in fact, even if you've got light armor, I'm going to assume that you're going to actually go to sleep properly.
Yes.
You know. So, okay, you guys, you dot the door. The guards tell you might as well bar it, just on the off chance.
Well, here, one
Yeah.
sec. Actually, I'll do us one better. Like, give us a moment. I'll take 10 minutes.
Oh shit. Cool. Nice.
That's a ritual. I just forgot to put the ritual thing in.
That's fine. I can get that. My alarm's 3rd level now.
Well, no, my alarm is 3rd level.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. I was about to say it's
Because I'm a warlock.
Yeah, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, I think alarm's first level, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, I haven't used it in 5th edition. yet at
Warlocks
all.
don't get a chance.
Yeah, they don't.
They're
They
option.
always. It's just like, yeah. But it's a 3rd level as 3rd level through me. But either way, it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, you cast that. That's fine. That's cool. You set it so it doesn't go off to everybody else. Yeah.
Yep.
You have a long rest. You may all click on your long resty buttons.
Go
Cool.
up
Remember, Callie, Daniel, and Orkon, you lose your 10 hit
Yeah,
points.
I know.
Yep, they're gone now.
You click long rest and you add it as sort of an extension of your bar. It does it anyway.
So, nothing happens. I mean, a couple of you may or may not like wake up a little bit in the night, and you know there's guards patrolling outside. It's quiet. You know, torchlight does flicker through the shutters of the windows. It's nothing out of the ordinary you'd expect for a small village that's being patrolled during the night by guards. The morning comes. You can hear a cockerel in the distance. A bit more activity, people talking. And yeah, the night has passed uneventfully. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You assume that amongst those chickens there's a cockerel somewhere, although you don't specifically remember seeing one, but obviously it's somewhere.
Somewhere another cockerel goes, "You're such a
Niacin's shadowing.
He's just gone mad. That's the real answer here.
May very well have, who knows. He was a bit bonkers.
He's gone
guys,
full beast, man.
okay, you never go full wild shape.
He's just gonna be out there somewhere as a literal Scooby Druid, just like being the random dire wolf that shows up to solve crimes.
So, what are you doing today, guys? Anything in particular?
First off, breakfast. Most important meal of the day.
Okay.
So I heard there were still eggs about. I can make some omelets for folk.
There's probably new eggs about.
Ah, brilliant.
I mean, chickens lay like an egg a day on average once they get into the swing of things, so...
All right, folks. Give me a moment.
I mean, chickens are weird. It's like an egg a day. As long as you keep taking the eggs away, they just keep fucking laying them.
Oh man, these are the
Mhm.
best. Like, I've been doing some really good non-offensive create bonfires.
Daniel's
Look
going
at
to
that
take.
damage. That's not going to hurt anyone. That's perfect for inside here.
Yeah?
Well, once Daniel's got his armor on, he's going to take. He's going to do a quick tour around the defenses again, and then he's going to sort of take half an hour for anybody who's sort of got the time or inclination for a little bit more archery tutelage. Just
Yeah, a couple of them are happy with that. One particular guard, he doesn't actually look particularly young. It just looks like he may not have been in the military for all of his life. It's kind of something he's taken on later on, maybe a farmer or something like that, who's then become more military. And yeah, he's happy to get a little bit more tutorage, because until today, he's held a bow, never actually shot one.
it's like he's going to try and focus on getting these guys to be able to hit a target reasonably well at short range, kind of thing. It's like they don't need to be marksmen.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some successes. He can shoot the arrow in the right direction. Hitting the target is a bit hit and miss. Haha, badumts. But yeah, it's he's not going to become proficient in longbow overnight.
I'm going to invoke Rob here and quickly say, not with that attitude.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, Jaren is up and about. He's speaking to a lot of the villagers now. You see that he's not doing many patrols with his men. He's probably been up for quite a while. And he's really just allaying fears. It looks like the levity of last night, the relief of the fact that no civilians died, It's kind of faded now to the realism that this might actually be normal life for them now, of being in constant fear of attack. So people have kind of come off the adrenaline when they're waking up to this, so they're maybe not quite as happy as they were last night.
Shh. Omelets. Shh.
Well, the civilians are welcome to join in with the archery practice as well.
A lot of them are having to head out and do their work. You know, there's fields nearby that it's like, what else is there to do? They can't just stop the work.
I'm going to take a bit of time, and I'm going to go and get a brand new torch.
That's dead easy. You can get them from
Yeah.
the book prices dead easy.
And from
To be honest, it's
no.
probably enough wood you can just pick up and wrap a little bit of shit around, and you could probably just make. If you want
Are
one
you
torch,
actually going to cast Continual Flame? Is this
Yeah,
what's going to happen right now?
I'm going to cast one continual flame right now, and if we come back for another long rest here, I will use whatever spell slots I have left and
Cast
make
it
more
at 3rd
continual
level,
flames.
so that way it banishes darkness.
Really?
That's a thing. Yeah,
That never came up on my.
pretty sure it's a thing.
Nope, it's not.
One sec, I'm looking this up.
Just until the spell, the flame with the torch brightness forms. Yeah, it doesn't have a level higher thing. It's just 2nd level.
yeah.
But yeah, I am going to pop one continual flame torch up there,
Okie
so
dokie.
that
You got
they
the
always have light.
you got the ruby dust.
Yeah, I've got 150 gold pieces worth of spell components that I keep telling you I pick up every time, and I refresh every time when I get back to town if I use anything that says consumed.
Okie dokie. Well, I mean, just
Um,
record that it's specifically ruby dust, because you can't just say I've got 150 spell of anything and then use it for anything. It's not. It doesn't quite work that way. But yeah.
I can deduct 50 gold pieces right now if you want to say I had 50 gold pieces of ruby dust as well.
Yes, specifically, because it's like, yeah, if it's got a gold piece value and it explicitly states that it's a thing, a specific thing that gets consumed, you need that specific thing. Otherwise, you could have used just, I've got a 50 gold piece of something, so anything that says 50 gold, oh yeah, I've got that. It's like, nah, yeah.
It's now perhaps a good time for a quick 5-minute break.
I think that's a great time for a quick 5-minute break so people can think about what they're doing.
Fantastic. Before we go off hunting for this mysterious man in the woods who speaks
Yes.
with gnolls.
He does. Maybe he's called Speaks with... Oh, no, it's called Bradwin.
Which is Knowlish for speaks with gnolls.
Oh, shit! You figured
No,
out my naming
gnollish for
conventions.
speaks with gnolls would be.
Yes. All right then, give it a 5-minute, and yeah, we'll do the thing.
Let's go.
Enjoy intermission, everybody. I'm sure Izixs will serenade you at some point.
Oh God, no, you don't want that.
I need to get water first. I'll be right back.
Yes.
Exactly. See, you guys have about 3 minutes at the most before he starts singing.
Oh boy.
When there's nowhere else to run, is there room for one more sun? One more sun. If you can hold on, if you can hold on, hold on. I want to stand up. I want to let go. No, you don't. No. I want to shine on in the hearts of men. I mean, want a meaning from the back of my broken hand. Another heart aches, another head breaks, and I am so much older than I can take. And my affection, well, it comes and goes. I need direction to perfection. No, help me out. Yeah, you gotta help me out. Yeah, don't you put me on the back burner. You gotta help me out. And when there's nowhere else to run, is there room for one more sun? These changes ain't changing me, the cold-hearted boy I used to be. Yeah, you gotta help me out. Yeah, don't you put me on the back burner. You gotta help me out. You're gonna bring yourself down. Yeah, you're gonna bring yourself down. Yeah, you're gonna bring yourself down.
Oh, thank God it stopped.
Well, that's just because of a big long break of the song.
Shit! No!
Don't worry, I'm stopping there. So.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to drive every viewer away.
No, but I might.
Oh, damn.
Hi, Wiz.
Not you.
Cockle-doodle-doo.
That's convincing. That is convincing. I'm convinced.
You sound convinced.
I'm very convinced. Oh dear. So how is it to hear hear things going on at a slightly disjointed time? Because I'm assuming you're watching as well.
Yes, well, I actually just went and had a snooze for a little bit, but
lazy bastard.
I don't know. I just felt really, really tired all of a sudden.
Maybe
I'm
it's
actually
just
feeling
such
much
a
better now.
boring session, obviously.
I think it's the heat. Anyway, yeah. Well, it's kind of like watching the video replays, like YouTube videos after the fact. It's not that dissimilar. It's just I can poke and prod you guys if needed.
Yes, this is true, and I'm glad you haven't, because rude.
It would be rude.
But yeah, so yeah, these guys are fighting fucking devils now.
Yeah. Bearded devils, nonetheless.
Specifically, yeah.
Fucking pussy.
They're like basic
Okay, he
barmen
just
shock
doesn't like
troops.
lizards.
Yeah, anything reptilian.
Like bearded devils.
And they are basically they're scaly anyway.
No, the reason I don't like these is because they're attacking a village. That's the
One of
primary
them is
reason.
secretly Meepo reincarnated. He was sent to hell and has immediately gone up that far.
He's
Wow.
poked a hole in the dimensions, and demons are coming out, and he's possessed the body of one of them. And oh no!
That would be pretty terrifying.
And oddly specific.
Very oddly specific.
Oh yeah, Wiz, you missed in the sessions you missed. We all acquired special tinfoil hats.
Ah, okay. It's okay. I am a tinfoil hat.
Oh, that's good.
I don't think
I'm leveling up my beast
those?
form.
Damn. That's why we haven't seen you.
We've been wearing you the whole time.
Aha.
I don't think Wild Shape works that way. I'm just saying.
Well, no, we all know that secretly he's just figured out that solving crimes is his true passion. So he's just wild shaping into random animals and helping people solve crimes.
I mean, that could work, I suppose. I mean, or not. Guess if you became a dog or something, maybe that could.
Come on, Scooby Druid.
Hey, I have sniffed out.
You have.
I have
the
gone.
ghouls, yeah.
Yeah, the ghouls and Urky, and then that kind of messed you up.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
like rolled awesome fucking rolls for that, didn't you? Yeah, I remember
Then
that now.
on the
It's
mines,
on
he's
their
like, "Oh,
scent.
no one can find this path."
Yeah, I didn't mind you finding the path. I just didn't expect you to find the path. But yeah, the path is always going to be there to find.
Well, yeah, except you still had to make an entirely new NPC on the spot to stop us getting to the mine.
And you're glad that I did.
I don't know why we'd be glad that you did. That you said yourself, there's nothing there. There's what, a cave
No,
in?
you like the NPC.
Yeah, what was his name? Oh God,
Marine.
crazy Marine.
No,
that's it.
Marine I do like. I mean, in fairness, the partridge beard is a class act.
I like how the partridge looks fairly just, resigned to its fate.
Exactly. It just looks like it's accepted.
It accepts the fact that
This is my life
this is
now.
its reality now.
Yeah.
It's fine. It can slowly eat some bugs that are crawling around in his beard. It can survive. It's not a great existence.
Not to mention some of the quote tea unquote.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
The
what
odd
is
splash
tea?
of boiling water.
Define tea.
Specifically flavored leaves. Or leaves with flavor, not just random
fruits?
leaves found on the ground and
sticks
pine
and-
needle.
Or
Boiled.
fruits. Fruits.
Fruits as well. Fruits as well.
Fruits is allowed.
If you start being that picky, Daniel might point out that pine needle tea is a perfectly genuine thing for soldiers to have.
Even then, you won't, season it and tailor it with random willow leaves or some shit.
I don't
You
know.
might?
You might get kind of desperate if that's all you have. Pine needle tea.
You can make anything into tea.
It's the fact that it's hot
Except
that
meat.
matters.
It's the fact that it's something organic has been put into some boiling water, and then the physical thing has been removed, but some flavor from the thing remains.
Yeah,
That's,
it's just making sure that flavor
Oh.
isn't hot garbage.
well,
So if
mean,
I took a squirrel and I chopped it up into bits.
No, that would be stew. The
Yeah,
moment
Yeah,
you
this is what I'm saying.
water-
Where does it become stew and stop being tea?
I think if there's
It's,
still
you could ask
stuff
the
in
same
it.
question with soup. Soup, stew, and tea.
Yes.
I would say that soup and stew is all about the thing that's not water, whereas tea is about the water. Now,
So if
containing a new
I-
flavor.
So in that case,
So if
took
I cook
chicken
a
stock and
squirrel
mixed it with your
in-
pine needle tea, would it still be tea?
What were you mixing with the tea again?
Chicken stock.
Well, then it's a mixture of stock and tea. But what's the difference between stock and tea? That's a better question.
Yes, there you go.
Stock has
Well,
animal.
I think the real question there is what's the difference between broth and tea?
I
Since
think it
stock-
might well be animal products. It might well be animal products. I think.
But you
Tyanir-
can have vegetable broth.
Yeah, you can
Yes,
totally
but
have that.
that's a very sort of new concept.
To be fair, I'm not saying that.
Vegetable
if it,
stock? I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying that if it has vegetables in its tea. I'm simply saying if it's got meat in, it's definitely not tea. That's what I'm saying. So yeah,
I'd agree with you there. What I'm asking is,
Yeah, where do you draw the line?
We're trying to
That's-
find
that's
the
what I-
line. That's what we're trying to find the
I'm
line.
trying to find the line.
You're asking where the line is. I'm trying to
so in
find
this
it.
case, okay, so I'm going to propose another hypothetical here.
Go for it.
So what if I have, say, rose hips, mint, and carrot? Is that still tea?
As long as there are no physical chunks in it of those.
If you hoik them all out, if you pull all the actual
Oh no,
bits
exactly.
out,
Like, it's I'm steeping them appropriately. They're all in their separate container.
and then you
and
pour
the
it into
water
a
is
mug
simply
or a cup,
flavored
then
with
it's
the
tea.
carrot.
And you drink it, I would say that sounds like tea. I mean, you're probably going to pull.
But then
one
what
on
if I did the same thing with, say, a braising steak, and I just let the beef
meat.
juice soak in it?
It's meat, then it's not tea. We've already
Then
said
you could
meat.
no.
No,
I'm saying
no.
that the beef,
The beef
is not
goes in off.
It's not a stew. I'm not leaving the meat in there. The meat's going somewhere else. I've just taken a bit of beef stock or like let some steak like.
Yeah, but
lapse
you still
in the same
you've
juice.
still added fat.
You've introduced.
No, okay. Let's say
animal
he
products.
pours it. Let's
Then
say he
what
pours it
is
over the
beef tea?
beef
Does
and
that
then
exist?
serves that.
Okay, I can't hear
Because
both
that
of
would
you
be-
because
Well, it's important. Damn it! We're trying to get our points across.
well, you can't do it simultaneously because then only you two will actually be able to hear what the other's saying.
Yes, of
Mhm.
course. No, but what if you took this tea,
Yeah.
right, with carrot and mint and
Yeah.
what was the other thing you said?
Beef.
And then you poured it over.
No, not beef.
No, then you poured it over the beef, right, and then you served that up. Would that be beef with tea, or beef with
Shoo.
vegetable jus or gravy?
Hey, it's not gravy.
Well, technically it's
Well, it
not.
won't be gravy at that
That's with
point,
sauce,
certainly, but it could be a
sauce. Let's say
sauce
sauce.
of some description.
Hmm.
But that would require thickening.
I was
It
about
would
to
be
say.
a broth otherwise.
I was about to say, if it's not been thickened, I mean, you do cook some meats in. It depends. I suppose.
But
it's
I'll ask
probably-
again, what is beef tea in that case?
Well, then it's not
Because
tea.
that exists.
Oh, there is such thing as beef tea.
Yes, there is. Basically, Ty is correct. Basically, the main difference, what is relatively new, is vegetable
I love
stock.
hearing people say that.
I'm reading it now. Vegetable stock is relatively new, and what the difference between tea and a broth / stock is meat. And basically, if it's which was just normally herbs, is a tea. Whereas as soon as you add meat or bones and stuff like that to herbs and this, that, and the other, it becomes a stock or a broth.
This is the, this is
No,
why.
I'm-
This is why I said that the idea of a vegetable stock is quite a new thing. 'Cause the whole reason people used to make a stock was to get every last bit of nutrition and flavor out of the meat that they did have. So you'd take your
Bones,
chicken
mostly
carcass and all the bones,
Yeah.
and you would get every last bit out of them.
You
That's
boil
why
it,
you'd make a
it's
stock,
a fuck.
and then you would use that stock for either flavoring things or making soup or whatever. The idea of a vegetable stock will have only come about since people decided that they don't want to eat meat, but they still want to eat soup.
And literally, all vegetable stock is tea.
Yeah.
My next
That
question
is
in
all
case,
vegetable
what
stock is.
is
I'm
beef
sorry,
tea?
I'm gonna side with the
Beef
resident
tea,
cook here
beef
and
tea.
halfling. Quarter, I agree with you completely.
No, beef tea is literally just a herb stock with beef.
I am gonna.
That's all it is.
Okay,
it's
okay.
a herb
Shade,
stock.
Shade, I think you weren't around for what we're actually talking. What is actually like? Please, nobody else answer the question because we all know what the question is. What is the actual question that started all this off, Shade?
I don't know.
What is the difference between tea, soup, and stew?
You know when you say something and people completely ignore you and then invalidate the thing you're trying to find out? Okay, so I was trying to find out whether Shade knew. Now we don't know. I don't think he did, but we'll never know.
Does it really matter?
Yes, because it's like,
does?
calm
Wow.
down. Because it was being distracted. We were being distracted from the question. And what I was trying to say for quite a while now is that,
I think the
I
question
believe-
is a distraction.
not really, it's filling the time.
I think the answer is a lot of what the answer is
I'll
what you
just
do
not
with it.
I'll just not speak.
Why don't we just get on with the D&D?
Yeah, I'll just not try and put any input in things ever again. Right. So, okay, does anybody know of anybody who's not back?
I'm not back.
Well, yeah, you're off solving crimes. We discussed it.
Yes. No, I'm following you in rooster form. I think we established it.
Well, roosters can't fly. He'd totally be able to wild shape into one of those.
I can wild shape into flying things at this level, I'm sure.
No,
Nope.
you can't. You need to be
No,
level
you
8.
can't. You need to be 8th. Actually,
Almost.
isn't it 6?
6 or 8, but he's not 6 technically. You guys are 6.
Yeah, because I don't have the same XP as you guys.
So if it's 6 or 8, it doesn't actually matter. He still can't do it. But I think it's-
Barbarian.
Roosters can't fly.
It's irrelevant. Right. So guys,
8.
what are you? So guys, I'm getting bored now. What are you guys doing?
Well, after breakfast, I'm assuming we're probably setting up on some kind of an expedition to find this chap who knows
Oh, no.
where the gnolls live.
Yes, Bradwin.
Before we
Again,
set off,
this-
just check in with Jaren and just make sure that he thinks he's going to be all right while we're gone.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to think that there's going to be a problem, or at least he doesn't think that there's anything that you guys can do other than just staying here for the rest of your lives guarding the village. He
That's
Well,
what
he
my
didn't
eye-
think there was a problem beforehand.
He does say that, and he just smirk, like a kind of thin-lipped smirk smile, like, you know. he recognizes if you guys weren't here, it would have ended differently.
Yeah, that's my argument. Is if we all go on this expedition and they decide to attack again, this village is fucked. It's dead. And even if we come into the fight 2, 3 rounds late, 4 rounds late, this village is dead.
We're not splitting the party, Adrik. Let's just go.
It's either we take care of this now as a team and to prevent any further attacks, or we sit around here waiting for the next attack, or we split the party and one of the two groups might fail, or both of them fail.
They're just gonna keep having devils. Like, devils don't have a use-by date.
Let's go and see if we can find this fellow who knows the knolls.
Onward!
Okay.
Callie,
Yes?
you know the spell that you used last night?
Yeah.
Couldn't you make it clear to one of the guards that, because that thing works up to a mile, doesn't it?
Ooh, you have a very good point.
They could
The location
it.
on the map is way more than a mile away. Just saying.
Yeah, and if we end up a mile away, then by the time we actually manage to get back here, probably
could-
it will be over anyway.
I was gonna say, you could count the villagers' bodies.
It could at least... Yeah, no, if it's too far away to actually give us any information, then there's no point casting it.
You think that there's a good 10 to 15 miles over hilly but relatively open ground to Bradwin's.
Let's just set a fast pace and get on with this. The sooner we're back, the better. So
I'm
let's
game.
get on with it.
Any objections?
Nope.
Awesome. So, you guys head off. You check your map. You check with Jaren. He's as happy as he's gonna be. And you make your way toward the mark on the map. You are making decent progress. It's quite hilly terrain. There's a path a little bit of the way, because you're going along one of the paths that leads to one of the outlying farms. But you soon have to abandon that path and go into more wilderness areas.
If only we had a druid.
Or a ranger, so because
I
remember
know,
the
right?
penalties.
One that could wild shape into a horse that could actually make good time.
But yeah, nobody else could make good time. But either way, so yeah, you guys go off the beaten track. It's rocky, flat-ish in places, but generally there's a general increase in the altitude. Nothing that's mountainous, but yeah, you're slowly bit by bit getting higher up into the hills. It's mostly too rocky for trees to grow, but those trees that do get in, they do manage to get their roots in. They're big. They're big, old trees. And I would say after about sort of 4 or 5 miles, so you're sort of halfway-ish there, the density of the trees does start to increase. The lay of the land, the altitude flattens out. It's still hilly, still rocky. You have to cross a stream at one point, which is running off.
I splash Adrik in the face.
Dead easy, because as you're going across a thin part of the stream, it's dead easy to do that. So you splash Adrik.
I think it's time for
All 5-foot cubes of water to splash people with. Someone's gonna lose.
Oh boy. So anyway, yeah. So you guys play in the stream for an amount of time.
And, gotta cool it off. It's warm.
Once
It's
I've been
pretty
splashed enough, I drop 5 gallons on one and 5 gallons on the other.
For fuck's sake. Burn those spell slots. Burn them!
There's no sort of spell slot, I don't care.
Yeah, no, they're not exactly that vital, are they? The trees aren't dense, but they are denser. It's not impeding your travel. You can still see the sky for the most part. There's bird song, shade, but for the most part, yeah, it's easy going. You make a bit better progress than you thought you would do. And as you get a little bit closer to where you think on the map it's going to be, you're kind of looking around. You're not 100% sure what you're looking for, because it's a mark on a map. It's like an X. And you know, you guys are travelers for the most part, so you kind of know how to read a map. You know how to read your location. You're looking around. Someone give me a survival check with advantage because everyone's helping. So someone decide amongst yourselves who is going to do the survival roll.
I've still got
Not me.
proficient survival
Do you-
roll.
Do you
Let
want
the
me to
wisdom
do it?
guy do it. In other words, Adrik, because he's got the highest wisdom.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I got a -1 to survival.
Add
Survival.
advantage to
Advantage?
survival.
Yep.
11. 'Cause I rolled
Oh
4.
boy, that was a bad roll.
Yep.
7 and a 6.
You know you're in the location, broadly speaking. The sort of thing where if you were looking for a village, damn it, Niacin, you're not allowed to roll. Also, that was not great to say that you had advantage, not for you anyway. But the point is that would have been better. 15 would have been great, but you only got an 11. You are in that location on the map. If it was a village, you'd probably see it at this point, and you'd know where to go. But you're looking for somewhere where, from what you can tell, one person lives. So you're looking around for a cabin, maybe something like Maureen's place.
I'm probably looking around for some sort of trail as well. Because
You've not seen any trails that a survival 11 is gonna reveal to you, other than every now and again you'll see an animal trail of some sort. So maybe some larger animals or some nocturnal animals sort of regularly go a particular way. You know, this is old woodland. There's very little new growth here. So sparse as it is, it's been here a long time, and there's very little evidence of. Well, in fact, there's no evidence of civilization here. If you're in the wrong place, then it may be that nobody's ever been in this location ever before. You know,
well, Callie, you can shout very loudly. Maybe it might be worth just calling out.
Is that a good idea, though? We don't know what else is here.
Well, we'll deal with that when we get to it. How else are we going to find this place, this guy in the
Right,
middle of
well,
the woods?
does anyone object to me shouting very loudly?
Go for it.
I'll do it if you want.
Okay, what are you saying?
Bradwin, friend of the Knolls, we seek your aid.
That's straight to the point. Izixs hides.
Just in case.
A few birds are disturbed by your bellowing voice. And it echoes a little bit because it's a bit rocky here and there. So there's a bit of an echo here and there. You hear it.
We are adventurers seeking to aid the local town. You need not fear us. Barrowbridge, that's the one. Yes, I would have said Barrowbridge.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you've been there enough. It's, yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Well, I did my part.
So maybe
I
we
will
should
also
have
cause harmless tremors.
Harmless tremors. You just want to use up your thaumaturgy, don't you? Or thaumaturgy,
Pretty
whatever
much,
you want to call it. Yeah.
Thaumaturgy, yes.
I guess,
Thaumaturgy.
I guess we could go on a search pattern of sorts.
As long as nobody needs me to spot something. I'll be happy to start setting up base camp.
Wait, what
I think
time of day is
splitting
it?
up in the middle of the woods is a bad idea.
It's not
Yeah.
dense, but yes, certainly if you go for a reasonable amount of time in a particular distance, you will lose track of each other, yes.
It's not just that, but you know, we might have travelled 10 or 15 miles, but you know, there are still a lot of. Well, we've had experience with gnolls and bearded devils in this area.
Oh, absolutely.
And
No,
I did just shout very loudly that we're adventurers.
So
Well,
I'm going
we're
to
not
keep
gonna find
suggesting
this
search
dude,
pattern. Like all of us go.
Now, there's no other information that we have as to the location. We don't have anything of Bradwin's, right?
If we're up in the hills, I mean, is there, you
Well,
know,
it's just
a
that I
sort
have
of,
clairvoyance.
You don't have anything of Bradwin's, no.
That's what I thought.
no, if we're in a sort of hilly area, are there any sort of hills nearby that don't have trees on top that we might be able to climb and get a view of the surrounds?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, a little bit further in, not exactly in the direction you've been traveling, but kind of a little bit off to the side. It carries on going up a little bit, and you can see more of the sky that direction. So yeah, you think there's a bit of a higher up, slightly.
But let's try and get a vantage point, and we might. But if this guy does have a cabin, then there'll be a clearing we can spot.
I'm not casting this yet, but I'm gonna just posit this once again. Maybe it's just the fact that I have it that I keep thinking about it, but
Well, we can try that if the hill doesn't work.
That's fair. I'm all for the
No sense
saving spell
burning
slots
spells.
option too. Definitely. Even if I only really ever use one.
Okay, so you head off as a group, I'm guessing, up to the slightly higher ground where you see a little bit rockier. It turns out to be pretty much exactly what you expected. There's a lot of trees in all directions. The terrain is very samey in all directions. It's hilly, rocky, there's trees around. You know, there's plenty of little clearings here and there, but there's also plenty of little copses of trees, you know, especially in the dips between the hills. But not exclusively. There's still plenty of hills that obviously they're not as rocky as others. And universally, the trees, even the relatively small trees, have still been there for a long time. And they've only stayed small because the root systems haven't quite managed to burrow into the rock sufficiently to get them to grow much bigger. You have a little scan around. Someone give me a perception roll at advantage, just one person.
Adrik.
Yeah, I figured it might be. He's got uber perception.
He's got energy eyes. See what I mean? Energy eyes.
He sees all.
He sees 4 points, 1 point, 4 points, one.
Yeah.
One of those
Optician
more than
tests. I do. Anyway, yeah, he has a little look around, and you don't see anything out of the ordinary, but you definitely hear something out of the ordinary. Now, there isn't a wind per se, you know, it's not a windy weather, but the trees are nevertheless rustling now and again as breezes, you know, wax and wane, and you definitely hear something that does not match the pattern of rustling. You know, you would not normally notice such things. You know, it's a very subtle thing. But since you were sort of scanning the area, you just kind of think, kind of roughly the direction you came from to climb up this hill. There's definitely something that wasn't right. It didn't sound like a bird, but almost as if there's something there that's trying to sneak around. But yeah, you don't really know for certain or even where it is. But there may very well be something there that's doing a really good job of hiding. But yeah, just didn't quite match its movement to the wind at one time. Other than that, you don't see much. What do you think, guys?
I think Adrik needs to tell us all he's seen.
Yes. Like I'm looking around and I'm not seeing any of this. So
Yep.
Adrik thinks he's slightly going insane.
Okay.
So he just doesn't say anything. Because he thought he heard birds talk yesterday. And now, and now
Adrik withholds valuable information from the party.
And
In
he's going
today's
mad.
session,
and now he's hearing weird rustling in the trees.
and like it's offbeat with the wind. Like he's like, am I going slightly insane?
I don't know. Are you?
He's not gonna say anything and just kind of look about it and be like, yes, that wasn't as excited. We didn't really catch anything of eye, did we? From up here.
You're pretty lost, aren't you?
Hello?
This voice bellowing out from the trees, didn't quite get the voice right, but anyway, this voice bellowing out from the trees doesn't seem magically billowing, but it's definitely a good shout. And in the case that didn't quite come through, it was you're pretty lost, aren't you?
yeah, I get that.
I'm going to shout back.
Is
No,
this Brad
I know
Wynn talking
exactly
to
where
us?
I am.
Okay, you both spoke at the same time, and you get
Yeah,
no
I know,
reply.
I'll wait.
Well, one of you is much louder than the other, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? What did you say, Quarter?
Is this Bradwin talking to us?
Oh, so you've heard about me then?
Once or twice. We actually were looking for you. We need assistance.
Well, you're a loud little one, aren't you?
I make the best with what I'm given.
Okay. There's a silence returns, and then you can't quite tell where the voice is coming from. You think it is coming from up in the trees, but you can't tell which tree. But it is roughly the direction you came from to climb up the hill. And and the voice, clearly a male of some sort, says, "Oh, well, you better come back down here then." And that's it.
All right. Well, I'll
So,
move in the direction.
let's go.
of that. In motion. Yeah.
I shall happily march off towards our slaughter. I mean, Bradwin.
How did you know his true name?
Okay, you venture back
Bradwin,
down.
totally not a trap.
You head down there. Oh, thank you very much, Shadowsec. Thank you. But we're probably going to be doing Friday streaming me onto Sundays. It's probably going to be Wildlands. But anyway, back to D&D. You wander back down roughly to the area where you first stopped and thought this is the location on the map roughly. And you see in the distance, kind of off at a different direction, you know, not the way you came and not the way the hill is. You see a shape that hops down a few branches of the trees and then disappears behind a tree, a big old tree. It's not the most remarkable tree in the world, but you know, it's clearly an old tree. That's
Totally a secret ranger hideout.
So yeah, you see that movement. You get the distinct impression you were supposed to. And you all see this figure in the distance.
Yes.
Well, I'm following.
Okay.
I
Cool.
think we know where we're going.
Like if he attacks, then we'll know.
We've already murdered a tree this session, so
Who is going first to the base of this tree that he disappeared behind?
I'll do it.
Okay. Who is next?
Yeah, Daniel will follow along.
Okay.
I'll be in the back.
Looks like Adrik by default is being forced in third place. Okay, so you wander around the tree and you've lost track of this figure. It's quite a small figure, to be fair, now you think about it. And you get up to the tree and you kind of can judge the size of things now. And just around the tree, at first you kind of almost miss it, even though you're like right on top of it. But you see that there's a hollow between some roots. And where you originally thought there was shadow, there's actually a hole which goes down into the dirt.
Under the tree. Under the tree.
If you hadn't have seen the guy hop sort of behind this tree and you were kind of looking around, you probably would not have noticed this little hole. So you
Right, well, Wonderland it is then.
Down where it's knotted, that's where we want it. That's where we want it. Take it from me.
So Callie, you see this hole and you very quickly realize that once you kind of get a bit further in, you see that there's some wooden steps. Not crude wooden steps. Nice wooden steps. And everyone but Callie and Adrik have to duck quite a bit to get down the steps.
Hey, he's a small folk. Excellent.
Neat.
And basically, yeah, you descend into a small little place.
Oh, it's just in time for second breakfast too, and I
Tiny.
still have one apple spare.
He's got a giant ferret.
As you
This
enter,
is quite a delight. Oh, sorry.
yeah, as you enter this area, you see a small figure who is quite clearly a halfling. And he's dressed very lightly. I'm going to say lightly, and I'm going to bring up a little thing of him.
Is it loincloth or nothing?
It's not quite loincloth or nothing. I will bring up...
Is it loincloth bandolier or nothing?
For fuck's sake.
Don't forget the cowboy
I
hat.
mean, do you just want this guy to be a loincloth halfling so you can have a love interest? Is that what it is, Callie?
Shh. Shh.
Okay, god damn it, I won't ruin your dreams.
Make Adrik jealous.
Oh, yeah. Be careful. Bear with me while it's not loading. Do. You will load eventually. Do. I hope you fucking
Hey,
do.
we get music. Excellent.
Sorry.
It's all right. This is the music outside of his door. You know.
He's not got a lift going down.
A moment. No, it's just that the door takes ages to open for some reason, right?
I mean, I guess.
Clearly, it's Snagglefang, sort of, giving us the music here. Oh, there he is. He's got a little bit of a skirt and everything.
He's dressed. I mean, his equipment looks pretty good. He's got a couple of short swords. He's got a short bow. He's armed definitely very well. He looks like every much a survivor as you imagine he probably is. Though the fact that when you get into this area, it looks tidy. It looks warm and homely and comfortable. This isn't a dirty hole in the ground. This is a very, very nicely laid out hole in the ground.
Dude, this
Yes,
is shit.
yes, Ty, yes. This is exactly the stereotype. However, it's not quite as grandiose as Bilbo's place, Bag End.
Yeah, but he was kind of,
A very
he's
rich,
relatively
famous hobbit.
well off.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
He had a lot more than the average hobbit. Agreed. But yes, Bradwin is there, and he's going through a few food things, and he's actually getting them out calmly, and they look like they're decent enough little things. Some of them are clearly foraged, and some of them have clearly been baked, and he's got a little fire going, like a fire pit, and various other little things. It's a nice little place. He's got the basics in it, the basics you'd expect. To be honest, the basics you'd expect, Callie. Plenty of places to cook decent food, to sit down, keep warm, maybe do a bit of work, and a bed. A bed that has a fucking great ferret in it.
Yay!
Why, hello, Snagglefang.
Tom, 'tis I, Snagglefang.
It is not.
Hi, Wiz!
It was Wiz the whole time.
Damn it, Wiz. Be gone.
Oh, wow, that wild shape. I got stuck.
God damn it,
I've
man.
named his house for him.
Brad End. Damn it. You don't know his surname, though, so you can't really call it anything End, because it was a surname End. But either way.
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't exactly Build End, was it?
Yeah, exactly. That sounds bend.
It just
No.
sounds wrong.
Yeah. So anyway, he says, "All right, then come in then, and you suppose you better make yourself comfortable." And he flicks his hand off to the chairs in the top right corner, or the northeast corner, should I say, that are near the little trough where there's a gentle fire going. It looks a bit more angry in the picture than it actually is.
Daniel's
Well,
going
thank
to
you much
concentrate
for-
a bit too much on making sure that he gets his halberd through the door, and he's going to bang his head.
Oh, it's really difficult to
Thunk.
get your halberd in here.
Ah!
It's one of those things where you're worried about scratching the woodwork. Because to be honest, the wood paneling is actually really nice, and a scratch will really show. But yes, you're gonna do a Gandalf, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I missed that. Turn around."
I got my staff, halberd
Turn
under. It's
around.
like, oh my!
thunk straight into a support beam.
Yep.
Oh boy. So yeah, Snagglefang kind of eyes you like suspiciously, but otherwise doesn't make any aggressive movements. Snagglefang is a medium creature, so he's pretty fucking big, Callie, for you.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
Dire ferret.
Technically, it's just a giant ferret. A giant ferret is a medium creature. They're pretty bloody big. And he puts a few things out on the table. He leans up against this particular thing, and he waits for if you want to sit down. I mean, if you don't sit down, then you don't sit down.
Go
But if
sit
you
down,
do,
guys.
Well, thank you much for the hospitality. Oh, before I do sit down, I'm going to hand him one of the apples that I had planned for second breakfast, although he's certainly got a much better spread than I do.
oh yeah, he absolutely does. He's got bowls of fruit and berries, pastries and preserves that you guess he's probably made himself. He's got a lot of herbs and other plants, little pots that have got herbs growing out of them. He's obviously set this up to be quite a place for literally sleeping, a little bit of work at a desk, but pretty much just a place where you can prepare nice food.
Excellent.
It feels strange
nice.
just sort of wandering in here without another sort of 12 dwarves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
try to get through the door without any too many difficulties. There we go.
Yeah, you've got fewer problems than Daniel had, and he just about managed, but you easily get through.
I'm just sort of thinking, part of Daniel's problem it'll be the fact that whilst, plate doesn't restrict your flexibility that much, it does a bit.
It
Especially when
definitely
you're
does.
You're actually having to fold at a right angle.
With a fucking halberd. And then he put some bread in his mouth and a bit of cheese, and he starts eating it, and he's like, well, go on then. Out with it.
Well,
So,
ain't just gnolls that are causing problems, and to hear it, seems like the gnolls aren't the problem. There's these weird tentacle things.
Have you seen any of them? Or have they given you any trouble?
He nods, but clearly is expecting you to say more.
They've
They
been
don't seem to like Bowerbridge at all.
they've been attacking the village. They attacked us on the way in. They've generally been unpleasant, and they don't seem to be.
Fire to the cart.
Yeah.
He kind of furrows his brow at that, and then continues. What is that?
Oh, we were
They tried
in.
to. It was a supply cart that we brought in. They tried to steal it and then set fire to it once they realised they weren't going to get away with it.
Mhm.
Well, that's not very nice. But then again, they're not very nice creatures.
Well, we've killed 5 of them so far and plenty of gnolls, but
They sure do bleed.
They both bleed.
They've given at least a couple of us fairly nasty wounds. We've been able to patch them up, but yeah, these strange demon devil-like creatures, they're generally quite vicious, and well, if you get too close, well, it's not pleasant.
He's looking at you all, and he's, as you can tell, a man of few words. He seems to be thinking over the food rather than actually eating it as such. It's almost like he eats to think, but looking at him, he's no inch of fat on him. It's all just kind of supple muscle. He's not strong,
beating hard.
no, but he's not like bulky.
this is
strong.
thinking cheese.
This is exactly. Well, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I mean, it may very well be, but he's not got strong muscle. He's got like constitution, dexterity kind of muscle.
Cat-like
Yeah,
muscle.
exactly. And like I say, he's not thin as such. He's just lithe. And if you guys have basically finished speaking for a while, you'll notice that Snagglefang uncoils from the bed, and he's about 8 foot long, give or take.
He's a long boy.
Yeah, he's definitely a long boy, and kind of sidles up to Callie and just starts sniffing at you. The very
You can go right
needle-like teeth, but big needle-like teeth, just kind of like only half an inch away as he sort of sniffs around you. Specifically you. Doesn't seem to be particularly interested in anyone else.
Ain't no problem to me.
I'm going to point out that Daniel's made a point of sitting on the floor against the wall.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're probably...
The chances of the chair being big enough and strong enough is unlikely.
Big enough, no. Strong enough, probably. They're pretty chunky. They're nicely made, but they are definitely chunky chairs. Not only are they well made with thick, decent wood, but they're also not... They're not like uncomfortable dining chairs. They're a little bit more sloped, a little bit more loungy. They've got some padding, not lots.
Well, they're still not big enough. So.
They're definitely still not big enough. But no, almost. Almost. You're not a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarf couldn't fit in. Not a chance. And he finishes the mouthful he's got. And he looks you over and says, "Well, I'll tell you what I know. those demons, as you're calling them, they sailed into here, maybe 4 weeks ago? 5? Maybe about 5. I don't really count the days like you do. And I've been trading with the Gnolls. Barrowbridge. There's another gentleman who lives over the hills. And, yeah, a couple of Gnolls came this way. Told me about what happened. And, yeah, the whole lot of them have all been taken over by these creatures who seem hell-bent on killing them all with these pointless fights. And there don't seem to be an end of them either. It's not right, I'm telling you. It's not right.
So it might be in our mutual interest, you, us, the town, the gnolls themselves, to find the source of these creatures and do away with it.
Oh, I don't know where they are. I know exactly where they are. I can show you
that's good.
There's
exactly
just
where
a bloody
they are.
lot of them, aren't there?
Well, I don't know exactly how many there are. But from what I've been told by a few escapees, there's a good dozen or so of these devils. The thing that scares me the most is that I heard that they're bringing more in. They're capable of bringing more in from somewhere.
This seems like
I
a
suppose
bad
you know
thing.
where they came from originally.
I have no idea.
Well, if we know roughly where they generally are, then it's likely whatever they're doing to make more of themselves or bring more of themselves in is going to be there.
I don't know how many there are of the gnolls left. Especially after the various fights they've been in. You guys get the impression he's a little bit offish with you guys. How you know knows to be offish, you're not sure, but hey. Maybe he's just an unfriendly person. And he
Well,
can't
my thinking... Well, my
In
thinking
fairness,
is...
we did shoot first and ask questions later.
Are you
But-
saying that, or are you just telling me as a DM?
Well, no, that's you, but in terms of that, I don't really know what to say to that right now.
Well, he's going to
Like,
carry
something... you go right ahead.
I can show you. I'm sure you've got a map of somewhere to find your way here.
Indeed.
If somebody takes the map out, he will approach and place a mark on the map. And he explains that is where the Gnolls little tribe lives before these creatures took over. He has no idea how many of them are left. Those that tried to escape, some of them succeeded, some of them didn't. But ultimately, none of them wanted these demonic creatures there, and they're pretty much being forced to do whatever these creatures' goal is, which he has no idea what it is.
Some fled from the village attack once we'd killed these devils. We noticed this from our first fight, so we've been trying to focus them down as instead of the gnolls where possible. But perhaps if we can take them out, it will at least buy the village some more time.
Well, if nothing else, it may even stop the raids, given that the gnolls don't seem particularly interested in performing them. Which,
if the devils are going to bring more in, we could at least buy more time to figure out where they actually came from originally.
Bradwin.
Odds are, okay, I don't know how much I should reveal here, because this is something that I might know a little bit about.
What are you thinking?
Insofar as bringing things in from other planes,
It's not easy. It's as far as
Exactly.
you're aware, it is not easy to bring. You can't just teleport unless you've got very powerful magic. You can't normally, and especially if these are demons from a hellish plane, it's especially difficult to get in and out of those planes. So
Oh, yeah.
for the demons to be bringing more of their own in, you don't really know how that would be capable. I mean, in your experience, in your teachings, that's definitely something that would be difficult. In your experience, it's even incredibly powerful beings are limited in their ability to present themselves in this plane. To actually fully bodily materialize in this plane does take a lot of energy, a lot of effort. So, yeah, you don't know what's going on there.
It would take some kind of immense power, and it wouldn't be possible in a number of separate locations. It's likely that wherever they're shacked up, that's where they're getting more of themselves.
That is quite a reasonable suggestion, yeah. That's a reasonable guess.
I mean, in the meantime, I'll still, entertain Snagglefang.
So what you're
It
basically
seems
saying is
interesting.
they found some sort of place of power.
Well, a place of power, a gate, heaven forbid. If somebody was foolish enough to make a ritual that summons them and didn't, bind it properly or something, who knows?
So we could have
All
a
more
rogue
reason to
wizard
go
on our
cut them
case.
off before they bring a whole load of them through.
Very good call. I'm assuming you're just pointing the way. You're not necessarily interested in helping us. We'd appreciate it if you were interested, but you don't need to go out of your way if you're not that way inclined.
I'll point you in the right direction. But I've got other things that this has caused that I need to deal with. Other requirements of my time.
Yeah, understandable. You seem like someone who is, a master of this region of the world, and as everyone has their sort of domains and territories they keep an eye off. Be it just their own person or massive tracts of land. I can appreciate the call for duty to maintain your personal world, and from this disruption.
Grab another second helping of bread.
Oh yeah, it's all out there. It's clearly all been laid out for you guys. What are you doing, Adrik? You're just standing at the main door, and you haven't spoken at all.
By the way, Orkon is dibbling a little bit.
Exactly what he's doing. He's just standing there, folded arms, not saying a word.
Oh, you should try some Adrik. It's really good.
Fine, thank you, darling.
Suit yourself. Move right back there.
And Bradwin, sir, if there's anything you would like us to do, as thanks for this information, do let us know, of course.
Well, I'll let you know exactly where you need to go. And I'll tell you this for one thing. The caves aren't expansive. There's a river down the middle, and a bridge round the corner. If they've got any arches or something similar like that, keep an eye out for that. There's a little cave to the south as you go in. You might be able to, you might be able to squeeze through a little gap there into the next chamber, but I wouldn't go alone. I don't know what's going to be there now.
Oh, I'm never alone.
Other than that, I would say your best guess for whoever is leading these would probably be in one of the north chambers. Yeah, you might have to go into the south across the bridge, though.
So if we have some way to deal with the murder hole bottleneck that obviously we should expect.
Well, I'd expect it. I'd also be careful of the water. I don't think some of these things need to breathe.
Looks like we're lurking down there.
What about you? He says to Adrik.
Adrik turns.
Being very quiet over there.
I don't speak a lot, really.
I will burst into laughter at that.
This is the first time that Bradwin smirks a little at other people's reactions. Because I might as well, if Callie's going to literally say that, yeah, laughing, then I'm going to make the assumption that other people who laughed did actually at the very least smirk.
Oh, yeah.
Laugh. Yeah.
Yep.
Snagglefang gets bored, but you got some attention. Snagglefang was being kind of nice, and yeah, heads to back onto the bed. And
Oh, he's missing some health. When did that happen?
he shouldn't be.
So that's what all the sniffing was about. You accidentally text Snagglefine you weren't paying attention. So
I
Snagglefine's
stubbed
like,
my toe.
what gives?
You're not here.
Damn it, Fizz, get out of here.
he's the giant ferret stalking us.
Yeah, that's exactly what the joke's been all this time. Damn it, man.
When assuming we're successful, would you like us to drop by here again to check with you, or will this be all the end of our exchange here?
And if you manage to sort things out, then feel free. Or otherwise, let me know.
We don't sort it out, it's not likely you'd hear from us again. We try to take these things seriously.
He his stern expression sort of softens a little bit, and he kind of nods to you at that.
Adrik leaves.
Somebody jelly.
He shuts the door behind him and heads up the stairs.
Wonder what's in his bonnet today.
Orkon knows.
Okay, well that would be insight rather than perception. But anyway,
Right.
Bradwin finishes his thinking cake, and oh cheese or whatever the thinking thing he was
Thinking
eating now.
cheese.
Thinking cheese. And he says, and he ushers you all. And says, "Well, go on then. Out you go, and I'll point you in the right direction."
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, much obliged once again.
And I have to say, your companion here is quite the beautiful creature. I'm not good with animals, otherwise I'd ask to for an opportunity for a petting. But I just wanted to.
Fur is so soft. I will quickly whisper.
Let's go.
Okay, so you guys head back out of
Just as really, Daniel's going to say, if you find time amongst your various things you need to do, if you could pop by the village, they're putting up on a strong front, but they're clearly rather shaken about the last attack.
Again, he does nod, and you can tell again this is something that's also gone in, and he does nod as he heads out behind you. And then yeah, you all head out. Bradwin comes out. Snagglefang follows up behind him. Pardon? Did you go woof?
Yes.
I mean,
That's not even the noise ferrets make.
Well, what noise does a ferret make?
The ferrets that go.
Going to be demanding a shrubbery now.
I am the ferret that says "nee."
We are no longer the ferrets that go knee.
We are the ferrets that go icky, icky, icky for tang, zuboing. Anyway, so he points you in the direction. To be fair, you probably could have got there yourselves anyway. It's a little way off. It's a little before midday. You know, you've made good progress up here, to be fair. But this is you're gonna get there, and it's gonna be nighttime. So this is not a day trip. You know, you're not gonna get all the way there today. Or if you do, you'll arrive, and it's gonna be dark, and it's a cave. You don't know what kind of lighting they're going to have or what. So it's really up to you whether you want to get there and it's going to be dark, or whether you want to camp part way, or what. It's really entirely up to you. Or if you're just thinking, fuck this shit, let's run away and hide in the mines, because Maureen clearly had the right idea.
I will suggest that, if we, it might be a good idea to actually attack in the evening, because assuming that they are going to be perhaps thinking about going to bed themselves, and
aren't hyena people nocturnal?
I don't know. Orkon doesn't know.
Nor do I. That's the problem. So I think we should attack by day, because it's when nobody expects it. I'm channeling my inner Adrik here.
Oh, fair enough. That makes sense.
We're going for a dawn raid then.
Yep.
Dawn raid
after breakfast.
Relatively
after
easy.
breakfast, of course.
Of course, yeah.
So we can set up camp maybe an hour out, so that we're not too close.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay, then. You head out. The terrain is very much similar to how you've already been traveling. It's a little bit further off from the village again, so you're getting further and further away from Barrowbridge. Obviously, at this point, you've not really stopped with Bradwin for very long. So, to all intents and purposes, by the time it hits nightfall, or rather, by the time it gets close to nightfall and you stop about an hour away, you're still basically a day's back. You would say that you could push a day's travel to get between this mark on the map, this Null tribe layer, whatever you want to call it, and the village. It's about a day. All the daylight gets given. In winter, you'd not be able to make it in daylight. But at the moment, really early autumn, late summer as it is, you can manage the whole thing in daylight. So you head across and begin your trek across the hills. And the map you've got is not particularly detailed in this direction. Remember, this is the map that you got given by Lyson Mills. It doesn't go into much detail beyond this direction. It's enough to get the lay of the land, but it doesn't have any features on there. It doesn't show where the trees start or end. It doesn't show you any streams or anything like that. So it's really just a case of the direction you need to go and you know how far away it is. Beyond that, you're not 100% sure. So I'm going to ask for someone, your choice, to give me a survival at advantage again.
So not me. Anyone?
Adrik
This is
again?
a job for our
or,
resident jealous cleric.
Yeah, it's very quiet, Claire. I'm not sure what's up with him. I don't know whether it's
Yeah.
it's an Adrik thing or oh, good fucking
2 ones.
God.
He's off his game. That's for fucking sure.
Good God.
Wow.
That's
So we all-
impressive.
So we all point in
Too
different
busy being
directions.
grumpy about the fact that Bradwin exists.
I don't know. I don't know whether there's something going on with Shade or whether it's something going on with Adrik. I'm puzzled at this point. So, you guys travel, and you're following the directions on the map. And you kind of feel like, there should be a lot more hills here. It should be hillier here. That's as much you know from the map. It should definitely be hillier now. You kind of feel like it's a lot more woody than it should be. And in fact, you feel like you're not going in the right direction at this point. And the sun's starting to get a bit low. You should now be in mostly hilly, rocky areas. Not relatively wooded areas now. You get the distinct impression that you are not where you think you're supposed to be. And you realize you may have gotten turned around a bit and been reading the sun a bit wrong. Suffice it to say,
a druid.
Yeah, druid would have been awesome. It's getting late though, so you're gonna have to probably camp at some point, but you do feel like you're a bit lost. I'm just saying.
At the very least, we got trees for cover, so Might be able to.
We can set up
yeah.
camp here, and then when the sun rises in the morning, maybe we'll be able to reorient ourselves.
That sounds reasonable. We'll have to delay the
And we
attack
can
a little
sack
bit.
Adrik from map reading duty because he's got us lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Permission to take it up instead? I've got a +2 modifier.
Better than mine.
Okay. It's not a particularly difficult terrain to find a little bit of fresh water. It's not a particularly difficult terrain to find a few rabbits. You know, it's fairly softish ground here and there. Yeah, camp is a very easy thing to do. There's a few little trails that you can tell the smaller animals have gone through, so you avoid those because you don't want to spook them or get trampled if it's a larger animal. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of any issues around this area, so you make camp for the night. And yeah, I would say at this point, because you have not got access to food given to you by other people, if everyone could knock off a ration, please.
A sure thing.
Where'd I hide my rations? Oh no, they're there.
I know we had a druid.
Don't clerics get some kind of create food and water thing, or?
Yeah, but our cleric's sulking, so.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good
he is
point.
busy sulking.
Yeah. Feels like the players.
Or being incommunicado or playing a video game in the background. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I wish he'd let us know what's going on. That would be really cool, so that we know.
But he won't because he's evil.
Well, no, he's technically he's, according to him, lawful good.
So,
He's had a change alignment.
so you guys set up camp. You eat. You get a campfire going. I'm sure it's pretty fucking easy for you guys to get a campfire going, and you settle down for the night. And the night passes uneventfully. So you can all get a long rest for what it's worth. You can recover some of those spells that have been...
In this long rest, do I have time to potentially scribe a scroll into my book? Here, one sec. I can get the packed up.
I mean, 2 hours, yes. 4 hours, people would have to
No, exactly.
choose
I was
to
only
wait.
going to do one. I was only going to do one.
Yes, you can.
Fantastic. Good.
If you choose to have like last watch or something like that, assuming you're even having watchers, you can squeeze an extra bit of time. Someone else might have to prepare breakfast.
I can trust Daniel.
Yeah, I think you can trust Daniel to get breakfast. So he's helped you out with some cooking in the past. He's seen you prepping breakfast. I think he can be trusted. Ooh, nice. Good idea. Very good idea. At that point, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it a session. Now, I did say last session that it's like going from 7 till fucking 12 is just killing me. So this is, we've still had a very good long session. So, yeah, you are camping out in the wilderness, lost, not sure where you're going. But hey, you never know. You might wake up and find that you've camped on top of the knoll layer.
True.
You never know.
Or even inside of it.
You may wake up and find yourself with a odd druid strangely tagged along with your party.
Oh, hello
Ask
there.
yourself, how did it get here?
Well, it's not nice, though. It's Nickane.
It's right above flavor.
No, guys, it's obviously, Bryson Bracademia.
The fucking squirrel that's been following us.
So I'm going to call the session there
Told you I
on
was
the
the
stream. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will, hopefully we can enjoy another session next week. Until then, cheerio.
Toodles.
Bye, everyone.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell.
Like and
touch his
subscribe and
face.
click the bell and join. Click on the join button. The join button.
That thing too. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool.
It doesn't cost money at all. I mean, it does because it's what they've renamed subscribe as
Don't lie
join.
to people, Yog.
Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, they renamed subscribe to not subscribe. Sponsor to join. They changed sponsor to join. What the hell? Why? I mean,
I don't know.
Obviously, to lure people into unintentionally paying money for things.
I think that must be it, because, you know, sponsor is clearly I'm giving something away, I'm sponsoring this person, whereas join just kind of like, yeah.
I will join with you.
Now you've made it weird. So I'm going to cut the
Yeah,
stream
isn't
there.
that the point?
Bye all!